the start.
Oh, good stuff. All right, well, GunGamers podcast episode. We're here with Cole from ASAP. We're waiting on Kaylee to get home. I gave her a call about 25 minutes ago to see when she was coming on, and she thought that we were starting an hour later than we were supposed to, so we'll see her in the next 10 to 15 minutes. But yeah, no. Topics for this podcast. I saw somebody asked in the chat. We're talking about East Coast versus West Coast Airsoft, and in Cole's case, I guess, Dirty South Airsoft. Oh, you're a little quiet, buddy.
Banjo's on the fucking
No,
bass.
There we go.
I gotta mess with this thing. I bought an XLR for it, and it's like it doesn't want to cooperate.
It still sounds pretty okay. Cole, how are you doing, buddy?
It's good now.
Okay.
How you been, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just working. I went to Broken Home and actually played Airsoft for the first time in a hot fucking minute last weekend or the weekend before last.
How was that?
I'm covered in more fucking bug bites than... It looks like I have, like, stigmatas all over my legs. It's disgusting. It's just a horror show.
Was Broken Home the one with Ruckus from T-Rex Arms, or was that Copperhead?
That was Copperhead.
Okay.
That was Copperhead. Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, all those guys were at Copperhead. Broken Home was mainly just like your normal AMS crew because it was the last Broken Home. It was Broken Home 10. There's like 12 event hosts that do games there every year, but AMS, I guess, will not be going back. But I had a good time. I had a new Zero built me a new sniper rifle, a new HPA VSR-10, and it's the dumbest thing in existence. Like, I consistently the entire game would be like, hey, I wonder if I can hit that kid. Oh, holy shit. Wow. Okay. Fun. So it kind of like single-handedly reinvigorated my want to snipe in Airsoft, which is fun. So
nice, man. Eric, how you been doing, buddy?
I've been doing good. I actually am only wearing a hat because I just got back from Buffalo playing at the War Zone.
Nice.
Which was a really good time. But yeah, I'm still fucking sweaty, and I really, really need a shower after this.
When are we getting the Saratov compilation, Eric?
Motherfucker, as soon as I have enough time to sit down and edit that whole thing together, because my whole last month and a half has just been a disaster.
When are we getting a supercut of the charity stream, Eric?
That's never happening at this point.
At this point, unless you caught that shit live, you didn't see the charity live stream. Yeah. The one that was literally a year ago. The one that was...
I do a fucking highlight reel from that, but then I had to sit back down and watch all 24 hours of it, and I'm like...
Dude, I could watch through that. I could watch through that, and I would be like, oh, that's interesting content that I didn't know that I said.
that was a good time, though. That was a lot of fun.
It was a great time.
It was a great time for everybody else involved, dude. I was so fucking tired by the end of it. I went to bed, and I got off. I sent Josh a thank you for coming on. He's like, go the fuck to sleep, Ian. Good times. But yeah.
It was great, but that's gonna be one of those things when those types of things you gotta catch them live, Now,
man.
Now it's more special because if you didn't see it, you missed it.
You guys doing another one this year?
What the hell was that? Hold on a second.
What? Was that me making noise? Or was that
No, I just got a fucking notification from something.
Tristan donated $5 and asked why you look like you got your life together with your well-lit room.
Oh, thanks, Tristan. I was gonna say, do I really look like I have my life well together with my fucked up hair and my
You
shirt
don't look like
with
you're hiding in the closet of a
couple
cracked in this time. So
That's fair, dude. Yeah, Tristan, you know what? That's a great question, buddy. I don't know how I got my life together. Tristan, how about you get your life together, Tristan? I don't know about what.
In the fucking chat asked, even with the editing aside, how would you ever decide what to cut or not out of Saratov? The event was a fever dream and a half. And actually, for the Saratov supercut that I'm gonna do, I'm basically initially I was like, oh man, I'll do it the whole thing. And then as I looked at the amount of footage that came in, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll just focus on the Wolf Cola, the Trash Man, that whole story arc. Because, if I really try to cut everything in, it's going to be a disaster. It'll be like a season of Game of Thrones.
It was...
Specifically the shitty...
Saratov was great, dude. Listen, as long as you just fast forward about 2.5 hours after the game started, everything's great. That being said, congratulations to Lane. He managed to survive. Big shout out to the guy from Saratov. I'm not going to go give out too much of his information, but there was a catastrophic injury that took place at Saratov Resurgency. It was accident involving a motor vehicle and a passenger at the event. He had to be airlifted out, but he has survived in a case where you legitimately did not know if he was going to. With most airsoft injuries, it's like, hey, he broke his leg, or hey, he fucked up his ankle. No, he might not have survived, but he did, and and we're all happy for it.
Shout out to the 3 EMTs who fucking absolutely nailed stabilizing.
Yeah,
that dude.
Big up to Lutz, and then the 2 guys from the UN who were firefighter paramedics on station. But yeah, they made sure that he made it out alive, and he very much did. But getting on to today's topic, we were going to talk about differences in airsoft between the East Coast and the West Coast. Now, Cole, I'm familiar with the fact that you've played in, I want to say, on the West Coast and in the Deep South. I don't know if you've ever played on the East Coast.
No, I've not played on the East Coast. I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to fucking go up there and do something this year, but I haven't made it.
Have you considered coming out to Caspian Assault at the Guardian Center in December?
I played at the Guardian Center. That was I wouldn't consider I wouldn't consider like going to an event East Coast airsoft to me. Like to me, I when you say like if you're gonna get a taste of like the money shot of the airsoft culture in a region, you should go to like a local game or a local field. Like me going to an AMS event at Guardian Center is just the same fucking silly schmucks that I see 4 or 5 times a year.
That's fair.
Just in a different location.
I would say that like East Coast Airsoft is strictly an open play or local event type thing, as opposed to like Josh hosting event and on the East Coast. I haven't had the opportunity to play West Coast Airsoft before, but we do have somebody who will be joining at some point in the near future. Kaylee, where the fuck are you? That has recently played on both the East and the West Coast. And I'll be honest, one thing I will absolutely give the East Coast is that a lot of the smaller fields, or even some of the larger fields, they're really, really well put together, and they actually have, like, the woods and fortified structures and stuff of that nature, very terrain, compared to from what I've seen of California, at least from YouTube videos and gameplay commentary, stuff like that, where it seems like it's just a bunch of plywood thrown together in the desert with some, like, tires. That's about it.
I feel like you get more of that mix too, because like I've seen a lot of footage from like Texas fields and whatnot. I think Texas gets you like that mix where maybe you don't have as much woods terrain, but you definitely have more terrain features that get used.
A lot of underbrush stuff of that.
We've got some banger fields, especially in North Texas. That's for sure.
Well, because you guys have Texas paintball, and then you've got like D14.
We got D14, Texas paintball, 878, and then we've got some smaller fields like DFWAP, Fun on the Run. You're like kind of paintball / airsofty fields, and then you've got like high grounds down in Houston. You've got Texas paintball, which is down near Temple or some shit. I want to say I haven't been down there in years. 1
second, sorry guys, my food just arrived. I'll be back in a moment.
All right, well, Cole and I will just carry the podcast while you fucking fuck off.
I swear to God, what did you order, Ian?
He can't even hear you. He's so unprofessional. He's not even listening.
You invite people on your show, and then you ignore them, and you eat. God.
This is the most unprofessional. Like, you know what, Cole? We are in actually competition. We're trying to be even more unprofessional than you.
Don't.
You don't want that smoke. Don't start it. We'll come out swinging. We'll do some wild shit on ASAP. Professionalism is something we aim to avoid like the fucking plague, man.
Are you gonna start detonating pyro inside your house, Cole?
Bro, my favorite thing is people like we'll get hit up and they're like, why don't you do anything on this, or why don't you guys ever promote on Instagram? And it's like, we don't fucking care. That's too much work. Fuck that. I think this ASAP Fit thing we're doing is like the most any of us have ever posted to the any of our pages in a long time.
Yeah, man.
I've been watching that though. That's been cool shit.
It's fun. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, you guys seem to be getting in better shape. Definitely. At least you're putting in a lot of effort.
We're we moved. And I got a new house, and I built, so you can't see, but like this office is like gaming setup, Gundam setup, gun setup, and then the entire other half of this room is power rack, weightlifting setup and shit. So ever since I got that rocking and rolling, I've been consistently hitting it like 5 to 6 days a week. And then Corey, we did a group workout at Copperhead, like me, Corey, Mendoza, Jennifer. Miguel popped his head in, said "fuck that" and left. So
I like how this is going on while Ian's eating the grossest looking.
I know. I say, you got a McFlurry, you fucking piece of shit.
Shit's delicious, dude.
Do you only eat things as pale as you are? God damn, dude. Fuck me. But we all worked out at that gym at Copperhead, and we were like, holy shit, I forgot how much fun it is to work out with a group. And we started brainstorming the idea of like, how do we transfer that to like social media? And that's where kind of the ASAP Fit thing.
Dude, I hate working out with other people.
Well, the idea is like we post a workout, or we post like a accountability thing every single day on the page. Like mine, I don't edit video because I'm a fucking piece of shit, and so I make people go to my Twitch and watch it, because that's where I do it. Is I'll work out on Twitch, and I do it mainly for like form and whatnot, so I can go back and watch later and see what I'm fucking up.
Yeah.
But it means that I don't have to dip into the evil realm that is Adobe and learn how to fucking edit and actually be a useful contributor.
I promise you, not that hard.
I know it's not, but
just use Sony Vegas. That's the lazy assholes editing software.
Yeah,
how do I know?
But yeah, no, it's been pretty fun so far. It's been super. It's been surprisingly popular. And then now we've also got a lot going on with the fucking show. To be honest, I got a bunch of stuff I got to upload still too. But it's been cool. And hopefully somebody gets something good out of it. Like if it gets like one person to actually work out consistently for a month and feel better about themselves, then I'll fucking take it.
I mean, I started lifting again. I have had some other stuff pop up in life that has made it more accessible for me to start lifting again, but I'm feeling better about myself.
I saw that picture you sent me with the deadlifts, baby. I like it. That was good stuff.
I'm getting better, man. I never really deadlifted or squatted heavy before, like during my first like initial run of being in shape.
That's what I've been doing. This plan I'm doing is essentially you do the 3 major lifts twice a week, each one. So it's like I'm doing bench 3 times a week, I'm doing deadlifts 3 times a week, I'm doing squats 3 times a week, and it's honestly the results have been insane. It's funny, I'm kind of clocking the chat too. Somebody was talking about Back for Blood. We should absolutely fucking play that travesty at some point because it's fun.
I played the beta with Kaylee.
It's good. I got it.
It's good. I like it. Okay, thank you. Ian looks as nihilistic as the McFlurry spoon he licked, but dang, McDonald's seems like a viable dinner option. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Tristan. Thank you. But yeah, no, I mean it's not Left 4 Dead. It's
very much not.
It's
the same base like formula, but
similar gameplay, with some added shit thrown into it, basically.
I would still play it.
It was fun. It's a lot of fun, but it's also like fun in that like you've got 5 chapters in each story campaign, and I don't know. It feels like Left 4 Dead. I enjoy it, but it's also like not something that I would sink 1,000 hours into.
No, it's a game that you go back to and play with your buddies when there's nothing else for y'all to play.
Oh yeah,
that's 100%. And that's what I wanted out of it. So I'm really happy that it's providing that so far. Because there's nothing out right now.
I really enjoyed World War Z, even though like the movie, it has nothing to do with the movie, but it is a lot of fun. I'll give it that. The game itself, I think I got it for free on Epic Games Store back a while ago. It's okay. It's got some issues, but for the most part, I like it.
I think Back for Blood's free on Epic Games Store. They're on if you have the pass.
I got you. Okay.
Not mistaken. I could be wrong.
I wouldn't know. I'm like such a fucking casual gamer that I just kind of buy whatever wherever it pops up. I think the only pass I have is like the games for the Xbox Games Pass because
I think it's on that. It may
is it?
Yeah, but Back for Blood may be on that because I'm kind of the same way. Like I get
it totally
games,
is.
But I just buy whatever my friends are playing.
Yeah, it's included with Game Pass. Okay.
There you go. Get it.
Well, there we go. That makes my life super easy.
Got it, baby.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love how we had a topic and we've just completely strayed off of it at this point.
Yeah, sorry. I totally
no, because this is part of the competition. We're trying to be the most unprofessional. This is going to be the 2021-2022 Airsoft beef of the century, where ASAP and GunGamers try to have the more unprofessional podcast.
Sick, okay.
Y'all might actually be winning considering the fact that you never fucking do shows anymore. You pieces of shit. You left us with these animals.
You're not wrong. It comes down to like, hey, what do we think would be interesting? Like, I'm not just gonna crank out content because it's like, oh, hey, here's something awful to
Well,
just.
that's why ASAP was so smart, because you guys basically like barely talk about Airsoft anymore. Like,
Oh, we've totally we've switched it. We changed the name to All Seriousness Aside, and we just talk about, because the thing is like it's much more. This year especially has been much more about the movie stuff. We just dropped the teaser trailer for Siege. Fucking finally.
it looks fucking sick.
The real trailer should be out here in like a week or two, and then they're aiming. I can't say for sure when the release is going to be, but it's soon. The full release should be soon. And then Corey and I went up to Utah met up with Mendoza, did another fucking movie called Ten of Swords, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then there's like 2 or 3 other projects coming down the pipe. There's rumors of a Payday 2 film. I'm supposed to be Dallas apparently, so that should be fun. But yeah, it's gonna be that's kind of what we've transitioned to. We were like, man, we love Airsoft, but there's just like either not enough going on or not. There's really not enough to talk about at infinitum, at least for us, that would like interest us and keep us going.
I mean, like, there's only so much. Yeah, there's only so much drama or whatever that can take place at each individual AMS or MSW or TCA event. That there's nothing really super new in Airsoft that warrants talking about, at least on the event side of things. And
yeah, well, and the technology side of things
nothing has changed.
It's so stagnant.
It's a weird plateau we've hit with. Yeah, like I will say one thing, like there's definitely still some finer tuned things that you can do. Like I've had, like talking about the sniper rifle that I had built, I have a CO2 Wolverine, like one with the CO2 canisters in the stock, and this one runs to a tank, and this one shoots so much fucking farther, it's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how that works or why that works, but holy fucking shit, the consistency is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The like level that HPA has hit has been pretty cool to watch, but even that, like now we're just getting, there's all mechanical systems, and that's like kind of the peak now. And then there's the sniper rifle systems, which is so cool, but even that is like degrees by innovation since the introduction of the original Polar Star.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, at this point, like I'd say the biggest thing that's taking place in Airsoft is that pretty much every company, whether it's SEMA or Ditech or any company that isn't like Crytek or VFC or one of the high end companies, is actually like kind of bringing their shit up to par at this point.
Everybody's catching up. The gap's getting
the overall performance gap is starting to kind of shrink down, and I think the bare minimum for every gun coming out of the factory is snappy trigger response and like a minimum of 180 feet of range. It just comes down. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It just comes down to whether or not the individual player is willing to throw anything heavier than fucking 2 3s into the gun.
Yeah, right. Dude, I still have so many fucking comments on our video about BB weight, about like, well, but 2s fly faster.
Yeah, I always have that argument. People are like, "What are you running?" I'm like, "I don't know, 3 2s, 3 6s," and they're like, "Whoa." Like, fucking dummy, that's why I'm shooting you from all the way over here and you're not. Quit arguing with me.
No, according to Jeff Smith, the Kythera is hot garbage.
It's not great. I love
here's the thing.
Products, but there's a reason they quit selling it pretty fucking quick.
No, he's talking about the
Kythera.
Yeah.
Sorry,
he's not the first person to hear. I've heard say that. I had a buddy of mine who works at a major Airsoft retailer and tech.
I always get the Kythera
company.
and the what was the Hydra that was Wolverine.
Yeah,
the Hydra.
Because they both like it. Just stop naming your shit off fucking Greek monsters and we'll be good to go. Like, because like the Kythera was fucking super hot for a minute and then it just disappeared, which is a good way to tell if a product is.
Oh shit, we got a Kaylee. Okay.
Hey, we have a Kaylee.
All right, everybody, bear with me for a second. It's gonna look like dog shit for a second.
Well, speaking of the Kythera is weird though, because Jeff Smith and like several other people have told me how the Kythera is hot garbage, and then our buddy Jim installed a Kythera. Can people even hear me talking right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then our buddy Jim installed a Kythera in one of his guns that I actually sold to him, and then our guy Tyler, who Pep, who was with us at Saratov,
Mhm.
he ran a Kythera. So I've got like a few people who like really love the Kythera and feel like it's amazing, and then like I keep hearing these other reports that it's garbage, and I'm like, is this like a quality control thing? Is this
I think it's an install thing.
I have no idea.
It could be installed. It also could be QA/QC. Like, as good as Polar Star's QA/QC is, it's Airsoft. Not to mention the fact that, like, they had to really crank those fucking things out with how far they were backstocked and pre-ordered. Or not backstocked, but back-ordered. Like, during the initial surge of pre-orders they had, and then COVID hit.
So Jeff Smith in the chat says the Kythera works until it doesn't. Have to rebuild the trigger often.
Oh, a fully mechanical trigger that replicates a AR trigger having to be rebuilt constantly because of mechanical issues.
Ho-Shing Young, I think the BB weight video from Garrett, the BB comparison video, I think that's going to be the white whale along with the 24-hour live stream highlights and the AK mid-cap test video.
Yeah, you're never getting that shit, dog.
Be one of those things that just never happens.
Yep. Kaylee, how you been doing?
I've been chilling. We're working a lot, so.
I think you're using your webcam mic instead of your headset mic.
Oh, am I? Does it sound like I'm far away or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems like Skype automatically picks the least viable option.
It's been so
your
long
accessories.
since I ran Skype that I don't even know what the settings are.
Man, now that Kaylee's here, we can actually like dive into the real topic and not just bullshit about how unprofessional we are.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, there we
That's
go.
much better.
Okay, there we go. Oh, but yeah,
So-
now we can shit on West Coast Airsoft as much as you want.
Yeah, so why is West Coast Airsoft bad, Kaylee? Do tell.
Tell us why it's
Well,
terrible.
From my wonderful trip to the East Coast, specifically New York, where I got to actually play at a field outside of California, which is I've never played anywhere outside of California, so it was quite an eye opener. But yeah, man, it's just like everything about it. I think I mean we can go into all the details, but generally, just the entire experience, like the players, the field, how the field was managed, like how the games were set up, and how they kind of had this huge area to do all these kind of dynamic things with it is just it's such a nicer experience than what's going on over here, because I feel like the Speedsoft culture has taken over so much that no matter like what kind of location you're in, I just feel like that just becomes like the style of gameplay where it's always
Speedy
very
boy.
fast-paced and direct. Like not a lot of strategizing happening over there.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, you also did to go, like, at this point, kind of the shining example of Airsoft in New York. Like, Zulu 24 is fucking kick-ass, whether it's the field itself or the fact that they have,
I mean,
like,
to be fair, I would put the Warzone up there with Zulu 24, even though it's smaller and, like, different, but,
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of quality of game...
Oh,
I would
Warzone's great.
say-
Love the Warzone. But, like the individual players, Zulu 24, very rarely have issues with them. You can... They like, serve food at Zulu 24. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. I feel like that's also kind of a rarity that I mean they do serve food at Code Red.
Is it
which
normally
the
like
one-
pizza that's ordered from like the local pizzeria?
Well, yeah, okay. Well, at Code Red they have like a barbecue outside, or like basically it's like, you know, like a flat stovetop outside where they can cook like tacos or whatever, you know. Then most of the time that's what they have there. They have like tacos and burritos. Sometimes they'll have like burgers and hot dogs and stuff. So that's like the one place where they typically have like fresh made food. They do also, like, you can order pizza to there. Like they'll do like a group order thing where they'll order pizza from like a local place and you can have it picked up if they don't have the, you know, the food open that day. Or sometimes they'll do it like simultaneously. They'll have the food open and you can order pizzas, and then they'll have like it's a very limited selection of like snacks. But a lot of the other fields, like they don't do that at all. Like at I think Wildlands, you can order pizza there, but they don't really like have any food there. Like You're pretty much like you either get the pizza, which is the same, meal that they always have there, or you don't need anything.
If you don't bring MREs for lunch,
That's
you are
right.
not Airsoft.
Dude, that sucks because like another cool thing about Zulu is that like at the last hee haw that we did, we just ordered like $130 worth of Taco Bell to get door dashed, and it showed up fine. It was really good because it's $130 of Taco Bell and split between
now
7 people.
Here's where we have to contrast. What about tech? What about like your area, Cole? Like, are you guys like kind of the in between, or what's?
So we're kind of a weird mutant, I think, because we have some awesome fields in Texas, specifically in North Texas. Like I was saying earlier, you've got D14, DFWAP, 878 Airsoft, Fun on the Run. There's a bunch of there's a good amount of selection within like a 45-minute drive of anywhere in the DFW Metroplex. D14, 878 obviously being the two big ones. In my experience, like from going to like East Coast or West Coast and playing at local fields, it all comes down to like what the current culture is, and you'll see that at each field. Like they've got like their own weird little microcosm, if you will. D14 is a really cool field. It's set up really neat. There's a decent amount of woods near the back, but it's a like fully like really well fleshed out, built out, kind of like shanty city deal.
Well, your guys' fields are also pretty fucking huge as well.
They're enormous. Yeah, they're massive. 878 is fucking stupid. Like you'll get lost. But Texas, what's weird about Texas, and I don't really see this anywhere else so far, is we have this odd like mated mutant fucking Milsoft kids or speed mill kids, where they're in like they wear like all the meme soft drippy fucking cry shit with like starburst fucking shorts, and they're running fucking HPA'd like teched out clone Mark 18s that are HPA'd, and their finger fucking the shit out of them the whole game. It's this really weird like mesh of Speedsoft and Milsim that we've got, and you see a lot of that in Texas. For the most part, Texas players are usually more in the Milsim variety. You got some Speedsoft kids sprinkled in here or there, but it's the Milsim shit is really, or not Milsim, the Speed Sim shit is like really what I see the most of. And depending on which field you're at, it's either super fucking toxic or it's bearable. And it's my personal opinion that comes down to the field owners. Like they cultivate and control what culture is created at their fields, and some of them just don't fucking control it at all, and you get this disgusting kind of like group mob mentality of everyone wants to play like a total fucking dickhead if it's not kept in check, and the fields are like, oh, we can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can. You absolutely fucking can. You hold all the power to do anything about it.
Yeah, you can just ban people, and you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, but fuck, man, dude,
Private business.
I want to get one of these local field owners on the horn at some point and be like, why the fuck do you guys? They never ban kids. They just don't do it.
That's one of the big problems I observe.
Yeah.
Is fields that are afraid to ban people will ultimately cultivate a super toxic player base.
We both have the same one in mind, Derek.
And you know, it comes down to money. Like everybody knows that's why. It comes down to money. It comes down to marketability. Especially in an area
but the biggest problem that you run into is
options.
those players will fucking run, like those toxic players, if you don't ban them, will run the rest of the good player base out of fucking town because they won't want to play there anymore.
Yeah, dude, it's like a total double-edged sword. It's either like you get screwed by people complaining and like saying, "Oh, don't go to this field," like they just want to ban everyone, which is what happened to Tax City here. Like they got screwed over for a while, or you just let those people like run amok and destroy your whole brand and like your whole business.
My thought process in it is, and I get it, these fields are on a budget, right? And like no airsoft field, nobody's getting rich in airsoft. It's just not a thing. But I think like real paid refs is the biggest difference on a field, one way or the other. Like it makes a huge swing. And the problem is, and by real paid refs, I don't mean some fucking 15-year-old dickhead that plays there half the time in the middle of the day in between games. I mean somebody who is paid there. It is their job to ref. They may be an airsofter, but they're not there to fucking play or hang out with their buddies. They're there to ref the game. And I'm talking like at least 3 to 4, like 1 per every 20 players, some shit like that.
Well, that's standard, man. That should be standard everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's standard
standard or should be standard.
Should be standard, rather.
Statements.
It should be standard.
at least here the fields try. Like D14, they make attempts. 878, they definitely put their time in on it. DFWAP's one of the better ones I've seen, but it's a much smaller player base than the other two. They're one of they share with a paintball field kind of places. But they're, you're talking 30 kids there of a Saturday versus D14's probably got like 100, 110. I mean, their average player base is huge. 878's probably in the 40s, 50s. But like,
Kaylee, how many people did you have at Zulu 24 when you went? It had to be probably 80 or 90.
No,
it was like I think it was like 30 people.
Seriously,
maybe a little bit more than that. 30, 40. Like that was it. Like that was one of the things I was totally shocked about because I'm so used to it being like 100 plus. Like that's like a standard day for me at Airsoft.
Well, Zulu 24 can support 100 people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
it's gigantic. But yeah, I mean, I'm just used to these humongous games where it's like you're just being, especially in California, you're usually being crammed onto a small field with 50 people per side, so it's not really enjoyable all the time. But to be at Zulu with 40 people and the woods over there was like the best experience I could have had.
I was about to say, I think I almost always prefer D14's a great field. I don't want to shit on them at all. But if I'm usually going on a Sunday when they do Sunday games during the summer where there's like half the player base. Like if I want a big fuck off ridiculous game, I go to an event. If I'm going for a weekend game, if I'm doing a weekend game, I'm usually just like A, shaking the rust off, B, I'm testing a gun out, or C, I'm just going to say what's up to some buddies. So like that's like I'm not going there to be super serious about it. And god damn it, Ian.
Dude, I saw it happen. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm being recorded right now.
Live and on the podcast.
Dude, you know what, Ian? You're just adding more and more to our tier of unprofessionalism.
You're right, man. Hey, man, let's get started on this sandwich, actually.
Well, that's one of the things though with fields though that I find is so many fields play so much better with smaller numbers of players. Because I feel like a lot of fields are designed to be kind of crowded with stuff and have like a lot of density for cover, and the idea
you don't need too much shit.
I would say overbuilding is a huge problem at Airsoft fields.
And it becomes less of a problem when there's less people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the Warzone, every time I've been there, I haven't been to the Warzone a lot, but every time I have been there, it is consistently an excellent experience because A, there's not a shitload of people there. For those of you who aren't in Western New York and not familiar, the Warzone is a field that we have out in the Buffalo, Niagara area that is relatively small. Not a huge field by any stretch of the imagination, but it's ran really, really well.
It's almost kind of a cult field, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
Like in the way a film is a cult classic,
Yeah.
I feel like the Warzone is like an old school Western New York field.
Absolutely. It's like it's smaller. It's a little bit of varied terrain between woods and sort of like underbrush. It's cool in the fact that you constantly have aircraft flying overhead because it's right next to the airport. How they managed to convince the landowner to allow a bunch of people to run around with guns next to an airport, I have no idea. But
well, they ban lasers.
That's true. They do ban lasers, so good luck playing at night. But and that being said, they haven't ran a night game forever. Regardless of getting off topic, it's a great field because the actual player base and the community itself is tight-knit, and they don't really broke no bullshit when it comes to drama. It's tight-knit. And
well, the Warzone is like one of those types of fields that's a bit of a unicorn where they will tell you to fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the nicest way possible, but they will tell you to fuck off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The best games I've had have been, like, Eric said it the best way and just said it in chat, the best games that I've ever had were with fewer people. Desolation 1, which is still one of my favorite events I've ever been to, had like 30 people at it.
Yeah, we can't shill Omega harder enough. But,
yeah, we can't.
But that's not related to this podcast.
No.
But in terms of one of the things that you said, Kaylee, which I think is super important, is the actual size of the field, too. Like, the size of the player base is one thing, but the size of the field is so different because one of the things you were saying, I'm curious how this is in your area, Cole, because in California, it seems like it's a lot of separate fields that make up like one big facility, but they play only one small field at a time, kind of that old school paintball mentality. And that constricts your movement so much. Whereas then, you know,
Well,
you
there's
go
actual
Zulu,
like lanes.
Yeah. So like, yeah, Zulu was really kind of a unique thing for me because, I mean, when I used to play paintball way back in the day, like it kind of reminded me of that, where you have a lot of, like Zulu has a lot of like locations, but they can and they can be like made into, you know, different kinds of like AOs or whatever. Like they can be like, okay, we're only going to use like this area and this area, or we're only going to focus on like this building, and like, you know, that makes sense. But like technically, there are no boundaries. Like you can go all over the place, and even when we played this like a smaller location, we were still allowed to go onto the, like this whole place was still in place. You're still allowed to like go onto the other areas and like move around to attack a location. Whereas like in pretty much all of the LA fields, only Code Red and like Wildlands will do something a little bit different, but like pretty much they all have like their fields that all have like different themes, and they'll say like, okay, we're gonna play team deathmatch on this field, or we're gonna do like this thing on this field, and there is no like going to the other fields because like those are off limits, and typically like there will be those big mesh like like fabric
Yeah.
fences
To
that they'll
prevent
put up
fucking
to
paintballs
separate,
from flying out.
yeah, to separate like all the fields. So like even if you kind of wanted to go onto another field to like go around, like you can't. Like there is a like a literal barrier there that like stops you. Sometimes Code Red and Wildlands will like combine two fields. They'll be like, okay, you know, two fields that just kind of are in the same location as each other. They'll be like, okay, you guys can use like this field and this field, and like one side will start on one field and one side will start on the other field. And like sometimes Code Red will even do like 3 fields, like each, like they have one section of their place where like the fields are kind of lined up, so they'll have like one team start in one field, one team start on the other field, and then the middle field is really like where all the like action will happen. Like that's usually where the objective is or whatever. But it's very, everything is always very linear. Like one side's on one area and one side's on the other thing, and like you're just meeting in the middle like somewhere, and there really isn't like any going around or going to the side or anything. Like it's all very linear. Whereas at Zulu 24, you had this massive open area with different locations, but they're like, okay, you know, the objective is the whatever it was, the embassy, but you can use the whole field. So you're going into the woods, you're going like way like around into other areas of the field to like flank and do all this interesting stuff that just makes the game so much more dynamic, especially with
like,
40 people.
Yeah, I almost feel like the key to it, and Thomas Hoffman in the chat is talking about this. He says kind of hard to do it when you only have 50 people on a Sunday and the fields are so big that you may never see a firefight. But the key to it is the objectives are condensed in a small area. But the playable area is way bigger than that condensed area. It's almost like, I compare it to like, if you've ever played Metal Gear Solid 5. Metal Gear Solid 5 would have kind of small base areas for you to approach and, you know, sneak into or whatever the fuck you were going to do. Launch your detachable mechanical fist to punch people from across the map. But the thing that made it interesting is that that outpost or base or whatever would be in this vast area that you had so many different avenues of approach. And I think that that type of design works so well for Airsoft, where even if the area that players can use is huge, the area of approach for the objective ultimately is what draws the teams in, and then they can approach those areas from so many different ways. And I'm curious what that's like in Cole's area.
So the big things, the fields, the 2 larger fields, D14 and 878, they're absolutely that like humongous field that whenever they're doing a game, they dice it up into different sections. Usually you've got like an out of bounds, like they'll play in a very specific area where it has usually like a physical barrier or something. So like, you know, you can't get outside of that to get around. One thing that I wish there was more of were clear-cut objective games. You don't get a lot of that. Like, they'll do objective games, quote-unquote, but it just turns into a fuckfest firefight every single time.
Yeah.
Like, they try to do it, obviously, but there's little things here and there that could be tooled to make it a little bit better. I don't know why Alamo games are so fucking popular. I always think those are dumb as shit.
Yeah,
but that's a big one.
Oh,
that we
just
get
like
a
a
lot
hold
of.
position and
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people attack. Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Well, you are in
every
Texas,
Alamo or Benghazi or whatever type of
Yeah.
event?
It's all kind of the same.
But that's why, like I said, I like mixing it up because then I'll go to D14, I'll go to 878 for those like bigger kind of more spread out gameplay scenarios. But if I want to just like run and gun and shoot a little bit, I'll go to like Fun on the Run or D4 or DFWAP or one of these like half paintball places and play the very linear maps, the very set like separate maps that have got like very specific themes to them or whatever. And I think there's a lot to be said for that style of gameplay to like kind of cleanse your palate or like freshen shit up a little bit, because it does turn into a slog when you're playing. Because you get the guys like, if I go to the field enough, like I know that shit by like the back of my hand, and I'm taking the same avenues, I'm taking the same routes because they work. Because there's a very good chance that like just the way that the field's laid out, it wasn't laid out by like, there's not some fucking giant daddy figure in the sky like fucking building this shit like a Warhammer fucking map. Like you've got. It's not laid out correctly. Yeah, it's not. There's not some fucking Dungeons and Dragons master fucking making this shit like compatible, so it's even on each side. Like one side's better than the other side every single time, and on that side there's one route that is way more beneficial to take than the other route, and there's no point a lot of the times in like trying to mix it up because you're just gonna get fucked on. But there are some other fields, like I know EVIC High Grounds down in Houston, they change their field a lot. Like they move shit around. And there's a field that I really want to go to that Corey went to that's called Freedom Airsoft that is in, I think it's in New Mexico, maybe Arizona. I might be fucking that up. But they have a massive amount of land that they're constantly building and changing and adding new shit to and doing new fields on. And to hear him tell that was like one of the best local games he's ever been to.
I still think my favorite field that I've ever been to is Ground Zero. That being said, the problem that we ran into with that field is it's similar to Zulu 24, and it's got that varied terrain. It's large enough to support a large player base, but unfortunately, they had a land dispute recently, which chopped the field in fucking half.
Dude, there's a lot of those in Airsoft. Holy shit!
Yeah, surprising. Right. We actually had it's not a land dispute, but recently had one of the local Airsoft fields burned to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
That happens more times than it should. There's like
it's not surprising, I'll be honest.
Well, like D14 had a small section.
Burn to the ground. I didn't even.
To be honest, I didn't even check Facebook to see what had happened. Let's do that right now.
I just checked their website. They are currently indefinitely closed.
Oof.
Like, God,
Wait, so which place is this?
This is Rochester Airsoft, and like Rochester Airsoft is like a local indoor field, and I know people in the Western New York area have their divisive opinions about it, but like, I never like to see a small business fucking suffer anything like that.
No, absolutely, it's terrible. Yeah, hopefully they had good insurance. The biggest thing really is that like, it was based out of an old like factory park type thing, and just with the amount of they had like an auto shop nearby, and they had a couple of other businesses in the same building, and I can definitely see how something flammable may have caught fire and burned the entire fucking place to the ground. Sure. It sucks. It really does.
Yeah, that building was unfortunately not the best place in general for anything, which I think, made it great for Airsoft because it was cheap to rent, and they didn't care that people were shooting guns and breaking lights and shit, but also made it, unfortunately, a big risk for something like a fire, which really sucks.
I was gonna say D14 just had a very small fire. It was like a connecting piece of property that like they don't own that I guess had a fire, and it spread and caught to part of their very small part of their field was lightly damaged, but they got really lucky because that would have sucked.
At least it didn't burn a fucking building to the ground on George Air Force Base.
Well, that happens to the best of us.
Every time I hear that story, it's like, oh, what's the most expensive thing you've ever bought in Airsoft? And Josh is just like, oh, $37,000 building on George Air Force Base.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Fucking
sure.
Sucks, dude.
Josh has the best lawsuit stories.
It's been long enough, and Josh laughs about it, so I think it's fucking hilarious.
The money situation sucks, but like the fact that it happened, it's one of those things where it's like,
if you
let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
It can be funny unless it's like fucking hornets or some shit. Like I'll kind of giggle at that, but fuck bees, dude. Those shits almost killed me at a goddamn DFE event. Regardless.
I mean, they were gonna kill you at Zulu. They tried to come back. Like there was about to be Hornet 2 Electric Boogaloo, and you were about to fucking die at the last hee-haw.
Yeah, it's a good thing I had my fucking EpiPens on me.
And we had radios to tell you not to come where we were.
That's right. That's right. Saw a whole lot of bees. Bees.
Ian, save yourself! Bees!
A lot of
Bees in
bees.
the car! Bees everywhere!
The real enemy of airsofters, bees.
Bees.
Ticks. Ticks and chiggers, dude. Like I said, my legs are a horror show from Oklahoma. It is disgusting.
I have never gotten a
still
tick bite
is.
before.
Dude, I pulled
I've
a
had
couple
2
small
ticks.
ones off, but it's the chiggers, man. Like my legs are just red welts, like no shit, hundreds of them on each calf. It's
Ooh.
horrifying.
Ooh.
They itch so fucking bad. It's been
I
like a
don't
week.
it.
Terrible.
No,
So
it's
bad.
shit's rough, man. Chiggers especially, they're rough, man. Especially in like Oklahoma area, they're fucking nasty.
So actually, there was a. I'm sorry, this is like kind of jumping back, but you know, we do have a topic kind of. But one of the things that people are talking about in the chat, or we're talking about, was about like the game modes that their fields play, and I wonder how much the game mode and like how a field plays is based on how players react to a game mode. Because like, I feel like the day you were at Zulu, Kaylee, was one of those days where they ran like a lot of really fun, really cool game modes. Everyone was into them, so everyone was playing the objectives. That is generally my experience at Zulu. That like, yeah, most people are playing the objective to one degree or another. And I find that like that also changes regionally, where like what people want out of airsoft is different.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I know what I want out of airsoft. From what I experience at all the fields I go to, I guess my wants out of airsoft are not what everyone else wants out of airsoft, because I feel like most of the California fields are you're pretty much playing like 3, maybe just 2 game modes. Like, I mean, Hollywood Sports Park pretty much only runs like TDM. Like there isn't anything else other than TDM. Like I remember like some on when they do like special events still have some kind of flag oriented thing, but mostly it's just TDM all the time, every single game mode. But Code Red and Wildlands will typically mix it up. Like Wildlands will run some of those like modes that the one mode I particularly don't like, where you like can't stay on a piece of cover for like more than 10 seconds or something, or you like get eliminated or like shot by a ref.
I haven't heard of that before.
Like,
that's interesting.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it's like it's
hot
what they
take,
consider.
refs killing players is the dumbest shit.
Shit's
any
I was
stupid.
literally about to say that if
Refs-
your ref can't keep his fucking gun in his holster for 5 seconds, fire that idiot.
It's like so.
Your ref shouldn't have a gun.
No.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
dead
mean-
check, the fucking ref gets to shoot you bullshit. No.
Yeah, it's like they'll always play this game mode in the morning, and it's to like get people like energized or like hype about like the games, and so they run this like stupid mode where like you can't sit at a piece of cover for more than 10 seconds, so it keeps everyone like moving. But it's just like, why? Like you're either just going to be going around the field, or you're just going to be continuously like getting yourself shot and killed, and like I just don't really understand like the whole point of that. And then if like you don't move, like the ref can like come over and like basically shoot you in the back and eliminate you. And then you have to go back to the respawn and start all over again with like staying on every piece of cover for 10 seconds. It's dumb. So like they'll do that, or they'll do like find the bomb, and you have to like find the pieces of the code to like get the bomb. Like sometimes they'll do dynamic stuff like that. But recently I haven't really experienced a lot of that, and like a lot of, even if they have different game modes, most of the problems with the game modes stem from the static like way that the fields are played. So like you could have at Zulu 24, we played that one where it was pretty much attack and defend. Like we attacked the embassy, we held it, and like you can't, like the timer started to tick down. Like, okay, we play that also like at Code Red, but there's a problem inherently with that, because when you have two sides starting on opposite ends of a linear field with an objective to hold in the middle, there's nothing that's dynamic that can happen there. You're either one side is like pushing at it and the other side's pushing at it, and you're meeting in the middle, and like everything just comes to a head. And
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that Code Red does not allow.
Attrition.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that Code Red does not allow pyro. Because it's
well,
California.
Not anymore. Yeah, not anymore. They don't allow like any of the explosive stuff
even
anymore.
regardless of pyro, I feel like the difference maker was like at Zulu when we played that game. For full context for anyone listening, we played a game at Zulu. They call it ShamWow. I don't know where the fucking name came from, but you know, it mops up messes well, I guess.
It is an effective cleaning agent.
Yeah. But basically, it's attack and defend with a twist, where when you're attacking, you take the point and you turn it to your side, but it starts neutral. It's basically King of the Hill.
Yeah.
You attack, you turn the point to your side, and as soon as you take the point, your team cannot respawn. You can only respawn after the other team comes and takes the point.
That sounds like that's a great time.
And whichever team, holds it up, and gets to the time limit first wins. Pretty simple concept, but elevated by the fact that's like what I was talking about earlier. The central point is the embassy building. And then you're starting on these two opposite sides of it, but within that is a hill, a fucking swamp, a whole area that you can move through. So, like, you're not just playing attack and defend where it's like, oh, we're just going to fucking throw ourselves in this meat grinder of a linear field.
Dude.
Like, Kaylee
Embassy's
and I cleared
the
out the backside of the embassy.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
what if we walked on a hill?
that's really like the focus of like the focus of my point here is like we were just going at each other, and when that happened, like I was dead, you came back to respawn, you're like, so what should we do? And I was like, well, like I saw a couple people like go over there, and like I think they're gonna do some kind of flank thing, like maybe we try that, like, and I can never ever do that at any field that I go to, like even to think of the concept of like, wow, we can like walk all the way over there and come.
You're telling me
down
that I
like,
can
on
turn
top.
right or left and then just walk?
And like, yeah, like Eric said, we basically come down on top of them, we clear out the whole thing, and it changed the entire dynamic of the game, like right there. Like I think we won that game, like all because of like.
We did,
Yeah.
just barely, but we won.
Yeah, and I think that was like a huge part of it, is like we came up and we made this play, and it like changed the whole dynamic of the game, like right then and there. And that's just not something that can happen like at Code Red when you're just butting heads over like a central point. So it's it's rough, and like you can have dynamic game modes, but if your map doesn't play to those game modes, then it's just not ever going to be as fun as something that's more open.
And to be fair, part of that is terrain.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
You were nodding in agreement at one point, though, Cole. I feel like you have something you're sitting on.
Yeah, so well, it just my hot take on that is if you don't tailor your game mode to your field layout, you're fucking stupid and you deserve to go out of business.
Yeah.
It's like that shit drives me nuts when they're like they'll take a good game mode, they'll take a game mode like Rush, and they'll put it on a super tiny linear fucking map, and it's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? Or they'll put the spawns in like really, really stupid locations. That's a big one too.
Well, it's because you'll with every single fucking airsoft field I've ever been to, there's always one game mode, and actually surprisingly enough, Warzone and Zulu 24 have managed to escape from this problem by thinking, and they managed to avoid game modes that just turn it into 64-man Rush on Operation Metro. You can completely avoid that bullshit by not by thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just.
Well, there's little shit that you do, like they'll modify a game, like so take something like Rush and modify it to where like one player's got a bomb that has to be planted instead of it just be like whoever the fuck gets in the thing sets it off. But make it to where like the bomb can be put in any one of like these 6 fucking buildings or these 4 or 5 or anywhere like within this grid on the map in order to be able to move forward. That way it's not like one centralized point, because like one decent kid with a fucking good HPA gun can lock down a fucking spot and you can't dig them the fuck out of there, either because they're not calling their hits or because you can't fucking get close enough.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And that's of course always the issue too. Is like, what's the local player base like?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I was about to say that too. Is when it comes to the game modes, like you have to figure out what your local player base, like what your player culture leans towards, because certain shit just won't fly. Like they just don't want to play it, and they won't play it. And if they don't want to play it, they won't play it correctly. And it's one of those things where like you're not playing the game right. That's not how we do that. And then everything devolves into a shit show after that.
No, you don't understand. Free parking doesn't mean you get all the tax money.
No, you can't do that. Yeah,
Well,
everything.
A while ago in the chat, Matt McGrage, Muggy. By the way, hi Muggy. I haven't seen you in fucking forever.
We miss you, Muggy.
But he made a comment. He's like, well, there may need to be not. Wow, I sound like I'm fucking making fun of him the way I'm quoting.
Wow,
But,
Oh.
But he said,
Don't worry, we insult our chat too.
No, but he said that more games need to encourage trigger discipline. And one of the things that I think is interesting that I'm seeing more people fuck around with, and this might turn into a bit of a tangent, but is limited ammo games. Did you guys see that post in the North American Airsoft community? If you're part of that, which I don't blame you one way or another. If not.
Don't join it. Shit sucks.
But there was a post in there by a field owner or a game admin who's like running a Tarkov game where they're only issuing like 200 BBs at game start. And I'm like, oh yes, more people doing this, because I ran a limited ammo game last summer, and it worked fucking great.
Yeah. No, it's.
Sounds fun, dude.
I don't know. I've been to a number of. I've been to a number of Milsim West at this point. I'm going to one in fucking like 4 days. It's the best thing about Milsim West is the limited ammo. The fact that you have to be conscientious of what you're doing with your bullets. It's
makes the game more
great.
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody who is a stingy miser with his BBs, that is perfect for me.
Yeah.
I don't
Stingy.
shoot a lot. Like if I can't hit you, I'm not shooting at you. Like there is no suppressive fire built into me. I'm like, motherfucker, that's money.
No, dude, I love shooting. I go through so much fucking ammunition. Like the problem, and then what's really really dangerous for me is I've realized how much I like .4s and like .36s. So
4.8s.
yeah,
Boys.
exactly. I'll go to a game and I'll just be like, oh, let's shoot everything, and then I shoot everything. I'm like, wow, that's $80 in BBs that are gone in 4 hours of gameplay.
But
Getting into like paintball territory there with that kind of prices.
Yeah, man.
What I love though about limited ammo games is, and this is one of the things that people complain about, is they're like, well, if there's limited ammo, I can't get my preferred BB weight. And I'm like, that's fucking right, asshole. You can.
Yeah, you're running 2.8s and you're gonna like it.
That's it.
It's my favorite. That is my favorite part about seeing comments on like MSWGI or in like the AAR where it's like, well, is there any chance we can get 3.2s or 3.6s? And they're just and Josh O'Brien's like, no, there isn't. No, you're gonna run 2.8s and you're gonna fucking like it.
I think it's fun though, because we had 2.8s was the standard BB we went with for the game at River City. Because the player base at River City, most of those people are not modifying their guns to hop 3.2s or 3.6s or whatever. We had 4s available in super limited quantity for like actual sniper rifles, but literally the baggies were like the size of my pinky. So it's like, here you go. Hope you like playing how a sniper should.
You take a shot.
Should I take the shot? I don't know.
Somebody in the chat is talking about 6.5. So you joke about 6.5s. I was using
I've seen
4.8s
6.9s.
at Broken Home, but I have a bag of 6s that I got from Dan from HPA. He just calls them rocks, and they are dude. They're basically just regular fucking metal BBs.
Dude, the
They're
6
so heavy.
The 6.6, the ceramic 6.6s that a buddy of mine has, they're sniper rifle BBs. He's like, yeah, dude, this shit costs more than 5.56 I was buying at the time. It's like fucking 22 cents a round.
The thing is,
That's
with
nutty.
like BBs that heavy, they're so expensive and so specialized that to even be able to hop them, you have to have a crazy tricked out
You have to have a
sniper rifle.
pimped out bolty.
I think the 4.8s are like $50 for 1,500 or some shit like that. Like they're not cheap.
Yeah, dude, whenever I buy 4s, it's usually anywhere from $25 to $30 for 1,500 to 2,000.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, and that's why I'm always blown away at the fact that Alphonse runs like 4.6s in his fucking Mark 48.
But when you're not paying for them.
Yeah,
That's true.
I get
That's
that.
fair. Like when
To
you're,
be
Sure.
fair,
To be
I'd
fair.
bathe in the fucking things if I wasn't paying for them. I mean,
It's like, oh, these are bio. Just dump them on the ground. Dump water on them.
These are they're biodegradable. Not when you dump 5,000 into a fucking.
That's right.
I mean, no BB is really biodegradable.
No,
but,
Eric,
I mean,
they're biodegradable when you powderize them and then dump them on
Perfect
the ground.
conditions.
Yeah, they're all biodegradable when you powderize them and subject them to lab conditions that don't exist in real life.
Hey, we did this dance already, goddammit.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it again. We're gonna have some random dude on fucking Instagram start. Okay, yeah, I'm actually never mind.
Yeah, I would.
Was that who that fucking was?
I think I would literally
We'll talk about it
rather
afterwards.
pound nails into my own forehead than listen to the fucking Airsoft BB debate again.
Yes, that was the dumbest shit ever.
I like listening to Dan yell at people though. That shit cracked me up because his accent and the way he talks to people just makes me so happy. He's just the angriest fucking Jersey dude in the war.
Well, Whipple Wapple says snort your BBs, everyone. Here's the thing. I don't give a shit if your BBs are bio until you're making them out of something I can snort and have fun with.
Yes.
For
Exactly.
legal reasons, that's a joke.
You know, legalize medical marijuana. It's legal in New York now. Not for me because I'm in the military, but for everybody else.
All I'm going to say is I'm not in the military.
Yes. Legalize BBs. Yeah.
Legalize BB.
Oh yeah. I've heard an event promoter that I know very, very well has been stopped by the police multiple times and had BBs crushed up in the back of his car because they thought it was a method of transporting and distribution of cocaine.
Yeah.
Did he talk about that on your podcast?
I think that's a good like Airsoft old wives' tale.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's...
I mean, is this more than WoW style? This is like legit.
I've heard about it during shipping. I've heard about it like on import, them like doing that. But I don't. You know somebody that's actually happened to, or a cop pulled him over and was like, "I'm gonna grind these fucking things up."
Yeah, it's someone that's been on both of these podcasts.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that narrows it down, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Just Kaylee.
Who do we know?
Yeah, right.
Who do we know who's been on ASAP and GunGamers podcast and runs an event promotion company and might have been pulled over with BBs in his car?
And likes to get harassed by the police.
Damn.
Yeah.
BBs in small individual bags too.
Yeah, that's right. No, listen, they're not packed into small individual bags until we get to the Cadre house the night before, okay?
Is it Soto?
Yes, it is soda.
Oh my god, we had a point here, and then it like just totally became.
Yeah, East Coast Airsoft better than West Coast Airsoft. Just hey man,
I think
that's
it comes down to your community. That's honestly, I don't.
Yeah,
think it's
that's fair.
I think it's the field owners. I think it's a combination. It's field owners, field layout, community, and I think field ownership. Because I like putting these motherfuckers on blast every chance I get because I've seen so many fucking shitty field owners. Field owners control the other two aspects. They control the layouts of their fields, they control the game types on their fields, and they should control the player base and the culture that's cultivated within their community.
Well, we had a field that was not super far away from us that stopped doing airsoft recently and went to other things like axe throwing. And
well, they still do airsoft, just in a very, very limited capacity.
I don't know. I see plenty of field owners that complain like, "Hey, this isn't profitable," or "Hey, we've got a native player base." And it's like, well, you can fix your player base, you big old dummy.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just
player base. Or they try to ban. So like, what was that fucking field that was banning cheater videos? They're like, it's making us look bad. Like, yeah, motherfucker, you do look bad because you're not doing anything about this. You can't fucking ban kids.
That being said, like, I will say that cheater videos are
like
cancer on the sport.
Thing was like kind of inevitable. Yeah.
The cheater video thing, like, because it's a cancer on the hobby. It is.
It is a cancer on the hobby. But the thing is like you can't control it that way. Controlling shit on the internet by telling them not to do it.
Yeah. Has anyone heard of the Streisand effect?
Yeah.
Streisand effect?
It's a thing in marketing. I would know. I studied it.
Yeah, Barbra Streisand. I think it was Barbra Streisand was like really upset when she found out that you could find her house on Google, and then
she like filed a lawsuit about it, and in the process of filing that lawsuit, informed everyone else that was a thing.
Yeah, and then had like the actual number of searches on her house. They like increased tenfold or something of that nature.
Yep.
Wow. Dumb.
Yeah, man. Yeah, real big stupid. Not gonna lie.
I do have a comment about the
the field owner thing that relates to when I was there is the one thing that drives me nuts, like, is with ownership. And I mean, obviously, I've never owned a airsoft field or ran like that kind of business.
Awful.
But
Sounds terrible. Sounds fucking awful.
But the cost of like food and stuff was like completely different at Zulu 24 than it is
Yeah, it's not
here.
expensive.
Like,
Well, that's because you live in California.
That's true. You do
yeah,
live in
I
California.
suppose, but like, okay, like for example, like there's SC Village, which is like one of the really big fields here, and I was there for like a private event one time, and all I wanted to do was just like get a soda, like a bottle of soda, and I was like, went up to the thing with like, I don't know, I had like $5 like cash. I just wanted to burn the cash. I was like, okay, $5 should be enough for like a bottle of soda. Like, that's pretty reasonable thinking. I think.
$6.80.
Yeah, I walk up there. It's like $15 for a bottle of soda.
Holy shit!
What?
And I was like, wait, what? Like, I thought the girl was like joking, and she's like, oh yeah, it'll be like $15, and I was like, for soda, okay.
Listen.
So
Fucking what, mate?
yeah, I had to
Same.
get,
Listen, if you fucking liberals didn't want to increase minimum wage to like $23 an hour, we wouldn't have this problem.
Please,
What
dear
is,
God. I would. Another thing I would rather pound fucking nails into my forehead than talk about is literally anything to do with fucking politics and wages. So let's not.
What's the average field cost? Like,
Yeah.
Like day pass cost for you guys?
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
Because it's gone up astronomically in the last 2 years. It's
Oh.
Well,
like,
Cole, what is it for you guys?
it's like $30.
Yeah, it's around
Yeah,
30 to
so-
$35 here as well.
it was
I paid
initially
$20 at the Warzone
initially
today.
it was very cheap. It
It's
was
not bad.
like
15,
15.
20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it went up to 20, and then when COVID happened, they raised it again, and now it's pretty much like within the 25-30 range. And like for special events, like so, like I went to Code Red, they did like a night game, like which is like that's their special event to do a night game, and that was like $40. So
Yeah.
I know a bunch of the fields, like at least 2 or 3 of the fields here local, put out a thing like a release, and we're like, hey, in order to recoup some money that we lost during COVID, we need to raise it like $5. We need to bump it from like 25 to 30.
yeah.
And everybody's like, yeah, cool, we get that. But at the same time, in the back of my head, it's like it's never gonna go fucking back down. You're
No,
never gonna
I mean,
drop
why?
it back to $25, you fucks. So like, don't just.
No, everybody.
just go-
The second everybody nodded their head and said, "Okay, that's fine," they're just like,
Yeah.
"Cool, we can just have this permanent price increase."
That's just something I've noticed in the last.
I mean,
it's from between pre-COVID to now, every single field has gone up by like a decent amount.
That
And
being
I
said,
get
like
why, I
regardless,
understand,
yeah, regardless of what airsoft field I'm going to, for the most part, like it's Eric. I mean, you said Warzone's $20. I mean, I want to say RCA is
But
like
again,
25.
Warzone is like not Awen's day job, and it's
No,
like
no,
a
it's not.
fucking
It's
self-made field,
exactly.
so, you know,
RCA is like I
Like,
want to say
BB costs have gone up,
$25.
too, a lot.
BB costs have gone up a lot, surprisingly, but like RCA is like $25, and I want to say Zulu's like $30 to $35.
I think Zulu is 25 or $30 for a normal day game, and then RCA is $25 now. They used to be
Yeah.
15.
That being said, like the cost to go to a movie and get fucking like watch a movie with some popcorn and a soda and some candy is like $35. I'm getting
Going to
vastly.
fucking Five Guys and getting a respectable meal is like $20.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
Well,
like
Don't even get me
it's almost
started
like
on
they're
Five
trying
Guys.
to do like this whole
fucking
like
cost.
theme park mentality where it's like
It's-
they know you're locked in there, so they'll just charge you like up the ass for
Yep.
freaking any food or item and anything. I mean, Code Red doesn't really charge like that for their food and stuff, but it's usually like Hollywood Sports Park, SC Village, the bigger like more commercial fields are just charging like insane for food.
It's always the
Yeah,
bigger
the-
fields because they
Yeah.
think they understand profit margins when they really fucking don't. Because you'll see like EG smokes at like $15 for
is RCA? Hold on. Whipple Wapple might be correcting me in the chat. RCA might be 20. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
Which 20 to 30 makes sense, and here was kind of where I was getting at with this. It was like $20, $30 makes sense for a day pass. It's a good price, as long as everything else isn't like insanely jacked up. It doesn't bother me. But if I'm paying
Yeah.
that $20 to $30, I expect a little bit more on the gameplay side. I don't expect to come out there like I had this experience where I went out to one of the fields here, paid the $30, and I played 2 fucking games the entire goddamn day. 2, because there was like
Yeah.
3 hours in between, and it's because they had these fucking little 14-year-old kids running everything, and there's like literally not an adult in sight.
you're just
in
like,
this,
where is the manager?
Yeah, and it's like what the fuck? And that's in my like it's just.
Yeah, you have a great hairstyle for asking to see the manager.
Great.
Where?
Just in my like curmudgeon old man assholeness, it's like if I'm paying $30 or if you're gonna increase the price, cool, but I expect more out of the gameplay experience.
No, absolutely.
More out of the field. Same thing with the events. Like there's event hosts that like I just won't fuck with anymore because they want like $250 for an AO I've played at 1,000,000 times and they haven't changed anything.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like, why would I give you more money for the exact same thing that you did last year for half the price?
One of my things that,
Definitely.
and I agree with Jeff Smith here, but I also agree with Cole. Like I find myself in a weird in between spot where Jeff Smith says, I think it's not, and knowing Jeff's background, I can totally understand this perspective. I think it's not fair to assume a small business owner would not raise their prices as their costs go up. Shit is getting expensive these days, and small business owners are making profit, and that is 100% correct.
No, it's absolutely gone up. Yeah.
But one of the things that I find I agree with Cole with is like, you also need to balance out like, okay, if I'm going to raise my prices, I need to make sure that it's worth every cent. And one of the things I think is a lot of airsoft fields got away with a lot because attendance was cheap. You know, if it was $15 to go for the day, that was always cheap. Like 15, below $20 has literally never been expensive. But now when some fields are charging $20 to $30, it's like, okay, now I'm hoping that like that $20 to $30 is, because what is your cost that's going up in order to justify that? Because, you know, property taxes and whatnot are generally kind of fixed costs. You know, your lease or your rent or whatever. Like,
they're not fluctuating like
that's
wildly.
not fluctuating to the point where you need to like raise your price 30 or 40% to cover it. What are you spending that money on? Hopefully you're spending that money in a way that it is making the attendant or making the cost of attendance worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got some shining examples in there, like Zulu, like GZA, like Balahack, for instance, where you have fields that, while they might cost a little bit more, I mean, I can't speak to Balahack because I've never been there. I don't know what the fucking cost to go there is. I would assume it's like $25 to $30 because like, and I would be willing to pay it because from everything I've heard, Balahack is like
$40 to go to.
Oh yeah, dude, it's
to be
dope
honest,
ass
I
field.
have a weird value system where like I'll pay up to $40 for a day game as long as I'm getting my money's worth out.
Yeah,
like,
no, totally.
$40 worth of fun. Hell, charge me $50.
Sure.
I'll spend the money. The biggest thing is that like the thing I value the most out of anything really for an airsoft field is like the quality of the field itself. I couldn't give less of a fuck what they have in the pro shop because for the most part I don't buy shit at airsoft games. I'll bring my own BBs. I'll bring my own ammo. I'll bring my own...
exactly.
Like I own all that
I'll
shit.
buy pyro and I'll buy BBs if I need them day of.
Jeff's making a good point. Like, there's not a huge they're not making money on BBs. They're not making money on like shit they're selling for the most part. They're making money on rentals and they're making money on field fees, which that's awesome. There's some stuff that they have to jump up because they can't control certain factors, but factors they can control are how the games are run and what they're doing in the fields. I will never admit that you should be charged $20 for a fucking air pass though. Fuck that shit. That shit pisses me off. Anytime I go to an event, they're like, "Oh, fucking tank pass for the weekend's $20." Like, man, suck my dick. No, it's not. That's ridiculous.
Just go to Milsim West, where they don't have the facilities on site to refill your tanks.
Don't even have fuck. But like, cause you know, and that's the one thing they do here in Texas is almost all the fields here in Texas, at least the ones that I go to. Like, if you buy a field pass, you get the air for free. Like,
Yeah,
it's just provided. But I've run into some fields where it's been like, I pay the $20, $30 for the pass, and then I'm like, hey, I need to fill this tank up for the one fucking HPA gun I brought for some stupid reason, and they're like, oh yeah, that's another $15, $20. I'm like, what? Give me a bike pump.
Yeah, exactly. Well, backing up a little bit, I mean, like, there's no greater feeling in the world than running Chrono at a Milsim West event. And someone walks up to you and says, hey, where do I fill my tank? I'm like, sorry, bud, we don't have one of those here. And he's just like, what am I supposed to do then? It's like, it sounds more of a you problem than a me problem.
The whole time Ian's just like rubbing peanut butter on his face. Like,
Just like, oh, that sounds like more of a you problem than a me problem, buddy.
It's like the cables company in that episode of South Park. He has like the flaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, my nipples, they hurt when I twist them.
He's like, oh, you're really having a problem with your subscription? Oh, please tell me more.
Pretty much, yeah. Welcome to just the glory of being cadre. But you do make a good point. There are things that hold value and there are things that don't hold value. And air passes are dumb and stupid.
There's uncontrollables and there's controllables.
Eric, do you know if EMR holds like just regular weekend games?
a schedule. They do have some weekend airsoft games. From my understanding, Lane goes to EMR. The BB Warrior, friend of the channel. Lane goes to EMR.
Good guy.
I mean, I say friend of the channel, just general fucking friend. Lane, if you ever watch this, fuck you. Come drink whiskey. But anyway,
Lane, I miss you.
He's never watching this. That's
No, he's not.
But yeah, with EMR, they run. From my understanding, it's kind of tough because, you know, they are a paintball field first and foremost.
Yeah, absolutely.
They kind of rent out.
No, I totally get it, and like the actual layout of the field itself is great. I love it. As long as they get rid of the fucking bees on site, that'd be awesome. But listen, if I have to bust this shit out at a fucking airsoft game next time I go, I'm gonna be furious. But...
Yeah, I mean, fuck bitching about attendance cost for like ticket price. How about having to pay for another EpiPen?
Do you know how expensive these things are? It's like $350 a pop.
It's nutty.
Yeah, man. You ever been stung
Well, you know,
and
if
wondered
you're
whether or not it
playing
was
a lot,
worth?
just break that thing out, jam yourself.
I actually took a PT test recently, and before my run, I'm like, what happens if I stab myself with an EpiPen? Am I gonna have a good time? Turns out, no, you don't. I didn't
You
stab
don't
myself. I didn't stab myself, but I googled it, and it turns out it'd be a very bad idea.
Cowardice. You should have done it anyway.
Yeah, totally.
And then you should have been sending
is why no one
live
remembers.
updates to the fucking chat so we could all watch.
Yeah, man. Just waiting for
Live
my heart to
stream it.
explode.
Live stream the heart attack.
Live stream my heart
Yeah,
exploding in my
live stream your
chest.
Just live stream the run from the PT test with you just like profusely sweating, like the really up close, like underneath your nose, fucking camera angle of you just like
Yeah.
out of your
Or
mind.
you can get it like Blair Witch nostril dangling
I want to see
style.
the cokehead fever dream fucking PT run. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Damn.
The thing, so Hector in the chat says Balahack is $30. Balahack is a facility that, like I was saying,
Makes sense.
fuck it, I'll pay $50 to
If
play
it's
at
worth the
Balahack.
money, it's worth the money. Yeah. Like I said, and I don't want to sound this like I understand. Like these airsoft fields, they're businesses. They should make money. They're supposed to make money. They're supposed to make a profit. I would like to see these guys make some fucking money. Like God bless. I want to see everybody that, or most people that try to do things, make money. But you need to supply a worthy product of that cost. And if you
Yes.
do that, good for you. Make all the money in the world. I hope you are able to fucking just do rails of coke off strippers' asses for the rest of your life, or whatever it is you want to spend that money on. But you know, like if I'm paying $30
Hey, man,
for a
we don't
field
judge.
and yeah, if I'm paying $30 for a field fee and you can't even
You
fucking
see what Cole does in his free time.
for nothing. All I do is work out and build Gundam models.
That's what he,
I don't do
that's what he
anything
wants
fucking-
you to think.
Oh hell yeah.
Dude,
But-
I mean, to be fair though, more fun than airsoft.
That's right.
Dude, these things are dope, man. Like I've gotten into like the panel lining and the painting and shit recently too, which is I'm not good at yet, but it's fun.
Well, Kayla, you've gotten into painting shit recently, have you?
I mean, yeah, it's just painting Warhammer since we
Yeah.
brought meant
I see
Warhammer
this
was
yet.
mentioned
Plot
earlier.
twist. We
I
get
see-
an
I see-
hour into the podcast and now we just totally switch gears.
No, absolutely. I don't
No.
paint or I don't paint or design anything, but yeah. it's-
100%. Like these things are fucking dope. Like this is the one I'm working on right now. Like I'm panel lining and fucking with it.
Dude, that looks fucking great.
I've
Hell
built.
yeah, dude.
I've bought 9 kits in the last month. Which if
Those
you know
aren't
the
cheap.
fucking things,
Those aren't cheap. Cole, what is it?
Expensive.
I
Your
bought an
poor
air
wife.
sprayer, What? I'm lost in the sauce, man.
Your wife has got to be furious at you. I'm sorry.
Lost in the sauce.
We both make our own money. So
I was
it's
okay.
okay.
Okay. I was gonna say how many nights have you spent on the couch this month?
The answer seems to be 0. Good for you.
Uh-huh. That's the trick. That's the key. Oh, now all I need is for Siege to make like millions of dollars, and then I'll never have to work again.
Listen, I'll
the-
share the shit out of it. I actually showed the SCP fan film that you and some of the other guys
Overlord.
worked on.
It was Corey, so I wasn't involved in that. I was.
Oh, you weren't? Oh, okay.
No,
it was
so
Corey that was involved.
Before Wong got turned into a T-shirt, he was supposed to be in that part, and then that part was offered. Then that part was offered to me, and then I passed it because I was like, I can't do it. I can't get off of work. But Corey was really getting into film and filmmaking at the time, and I was like, hey, this would be a perfect match. Plus, he looks the part. He looks like fucking Captain America. I was
Yeah.
like, throw him in this bitch.
Absolutely.
He was in it, and that's what started this whole landslide of now, like, I guess we're making a production company. Like, you know, there's a whole, you know, deal where, like, he met Wayne Gassman, who's the DP, the director of photography on that, and they became, like, really tight, and they have, like, a really good sync. and now I've worked on 3-4 different projects with him, with more to come. And Siege being the first like finished product, hopefully here in the next month or so to be released.
That's so cool.
Listen, it's taken a while, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
Sorry.
But, I actually showed Overlord to my brother and his wife because I'm that weird fuck, you know. I'm like the weird one in the family who's like, oh, Eric, how's the paintball going? I'm like,
we're making movies
great.
now, bitch. You have no idea, man.
Yeah, it's like, it's going great. I have some friends who worked on this really cool film, and they're like, oh, that's actually really good. I'm like, yeah, it turns out we're not all just fucking idiots. Just me.
Dude, that was the cool thing about the Milsim West documentary is, like, for the most part, my family was like, what the fuck are you doing spending your money on this? I'm like, hey, you should check this out. This is this thing in the New York Times, and then also on the cover of Vice. I'm like, Vice, that's an actual news organization. I'm like, yes, yes it is.
It's progressively more expensive because if you watch the teaser trailer, that's not a CG helicopter. That's a real fucking helicopter.
Helicopters are expensive for those of you who don't know.
Holy shit! I almost fell out of it. That was a fun time, man.
I don't recommend that.
Bro, Corey always laughs. He's like, all he could picture because Tiger King was real big at the time, and you see, like, he could physically see me because, like, helicopter goes up, it banks hard, the crosswind hits me, and that riot shield is like a sail strapped to my arm, and I go and like catch the shit handle like halfway out whenever he banks, and Corey's down there like, I will never financially recover from this.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude. Me and the pilot had a real fucking come to Jesus moment. It was funny as shit because like he like snapped his head when he heard like the thunk of me grab the shit handle because we're not strapped in. We're like sitting on the side of this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he like looks at me. We like I'm like, and he's like, I was like,
Dude, I'm carrying a goddamn wind sail. Get us on the fucking ground.
That thing weighed 45 pounds.
Oh my god.
And he.
What, you mean it wasn't like a plexiglass riot shield you buy from Evic that magically stops bullets?
Baited pilot props, dude. Cannot say enough good things about that kid. He made it out of fucking wood and foam and plexiglass, and it was heavy as balls. Which was good.
At least it was heavy.
Out of it during the
nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the film though. Like I love that so many people in this like stupid bullshit niche hobby community of airsoft are like getting into more and more aspects of doing that type of stuff because I feel like that's the perfect intersection of nerd culture and gun culture where you can get some really interesting stuff out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people in this. There's a lot of very talented people in this hobby. Like the more that I'm kind of meeting people in the hobby itself.
They hide, but they're there.
What were you saying, Cole?
Oh, I was just gonna say it's funny because like when we were doing the shoot at in Utah for that Ten of Swords movie, the police liaison was a detective that was there, and he's like, we do a take, and he stops, and I kind of like walk over, and he's like, all right, so the other guys don't know what they're doing, but where the fuck did you learn how to use a gun? I was like, some scary people taught me some things when I was in the Navy, but it's mainly just airsoft and like my own shit. And he's like, yeah, okay, that checks out.
Seems legit.
So apparently it looks good. Who the fuck knows? But it's a lot of fun, man. And I'm always down to do anything that helps like support the homies and like help them on their rise up. So if I can do that and have a good time while I'm at it, like I'm gonna do it.
Well, and I just love like I love film and I love watching old stories about like Evil Dead. For anyone who's
best.
Yeah, A, great movie, but like B, the way Evil Dead was
Is that
made,
the This Is My Boomstick movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was Army of Darkness.
It's the very first one.
I mean, it's
the true horror movie out of the 4 of them they made, right? They're 3.
yeah.
Well, they had Evil
They had
Dead,
the CDs.
Evil Dead 2, then they had
Army of
Darkness, and then the series.
Yeah.
And then they had the remake of Evil Dead.
Yeah, because the Evil Dead 2 is essentially the exact same as the first movie, right? But they just like camped it up a lot more.
Kind of like a
It was practically
remake.
a remake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listening to Bruce Campbell talk about that movie and how Sam Raimi tried to kill him in that shitty fucking Buick or whatever the car was that they had.
Yep.
It's like all of his movies. It's amazing.
Well, what I love about reading like stories of Evil Dead is it was made totally fucking amateur. You know, they used a real shotgun shell to shoot out the window at one point, which is totally not safe the way they were doing
not
it.
even a little bit.
But I love like reading that and then, you know, watching, you know, you guys do the Siege fan film and then Corey with the Overlord film, and I'm just like, this is cool because now, you know, this has the potential to be like a really cool big thing that gets people excited about these movies and leads to other projects, and then people look back and read the way it was made, and that'll be fascinating. I don't know. I think it's fucking cool.
Well, it is. It's super neat because especially like just talking about Siege, like it went from what was supposed to be 5 assholes and a camera to a fucking 50-man production team, a real helicopter, a fucking VFX team. It's got its own original sound score. Like it, the thing completely took on a life of its own out of nowhere, and it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Like I'm super excited about it. Now it just needs to be good. That's the only other caveat.
I mean, it can't be worse than a bunch of the other fucking projects that have come out of various sectors. So
it's true. No, it should be legit. I'm really excited for it. There's a lot of talent both behind and on the other side of the camera, myself excluded, that are going to make that like a really, really good project to watch.
I just think that's so cool. I just loved following like the production and the updates you guys were posting, and I'm really excited to see the final product.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's because like I said, it got stuck in sound design hell, unfortunately, for a long time, and now we're finally clear of that, and it looks like we got real progress. So soon.
Oh yeah, hype.
TM.
Yeah, when you initially brought up the fact that it was caught in sound design hell, I didn't really have a whole lot of ideas to what the fuck that meant. I'm like, well, why can't they just fix it? And then I actually spent some time with a friend of my dad. My dad does marketing, and he does sound design stuff. And I very, very quickly realized how expensive that shit gets.
Ooh, yeah.
Well,
expensive, time-consuming.
Sound is huge, especially in, like, Siege does not have a lot of dialogue.
No.
You're expecting like long soliloquies and diatribes and like fucking Shakespeare oration. Like you're not gonna get that shit. You're gonna get me pin a guy to the wall and blow his brains out.
Expect you to be an orator.
You're not gonna get any oratory mastery out of me during that movie. But so that's why sound is so important though, because there's not a lot of dialogue. You need like the footsteps and the motions and like the shit to make like really crisp, audible cues. So like you know what the fuck's going on, and like it'll make or break a movie like that. But I think they've got it nailed down, and the soundtrack is killer. Like I don't know who, it's one of Corey's buddies made an original sound score for the movie.
Hans Zimmer.
It's it's close. Like that music in the trailer, that's an OST. Like that's original sound score for the movie that's playing in that teaser trailer. And it's especially like when it hits the title screen at the end of that 30-second teaser, like it slaps, man. I'm super excited about it.
God, I love it. I don't know. Just take it for what it's worth from my asshole. Like I just think it's cool.
I appreciate that compared to like I don't know. I've been on a Battlefield kick recently, and I played through Battlefield 3 recently, and I realized that its entire sound score is just Battlefield 2, just with a bunch of bass boost and fucking just built in.
What's funny is that almost sounded exactly like the fucking...
I don't like how close that was. I feel like we could make a meme where we take the title screen and put that sound over it, and no one would notice.
That was so perfect because it was like just grainy enough too.
Yeah, excellent.
Just fucking blown out enough to sound perfect.
Jesus.
How far are we in? An hour and 32 minutes. I'll make note of that.
Why? Oh yeah. So you can.
I'm absolutely going back to fucking steal that sound, but oh yeah.
Dude, when you were listening to it, you were like, my God.
Goodness gracious, it is correct. Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, Siege fan film is in the works. What else do you got in the pipeline? Anything else that's super cool coming out?
So, Ten of Swords was one that we did in Utah. It's written and directed by a guy named Court, who he actually contacted us through the Siege Facebook page because he saw some of the stuff we'd done, and he wanted to work with Wayne, and he wanted to work with Corey and White Wolf Productions. And so we went up to Utah, and we shot that for 5 days, I think, 6 days. That's going to be another like 20-minute, 25-minute short film. But not to give too much away, there's a lot more dialogue in this one. I actually ended up getting bumped up from a kind of minimal line role to having like an entire interrogation scene, if you will. So I'm really kind of curious to see if that pans out, or if I just need to go dig a hole and dive into it and never try to be in a movie again. But it was a lot of fun. It was really cool because for this one we were ripping blank fire. Like we instead of using,
badass.
we used GBLSs on Siege, which is great because it gave you the physical cue and it gave the cue for them to do shit in post. But the blank fires slap. I don't know if you've seen any like the stills that I've got on my Instagram for that, but like there's one point where we're in a parking garage in the middle of downtown Ogden, Utah, just fucking just fucking ripping rounds, and people are walking by with their kids, and even the kids don't look over. It was the weirdest shit in the world. And I was talking to the cop, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, they shoot movies here a lot. Like the people are used to it." And it was like at one point we're in full kit. This is one of the coolest fucking scenes. I'll absolutely fucking tuck my own horn here. Like this, because Corey and Wayne had this idea to track us with a truck, while Mendoza and I were. If you know Mendoza, fucking Aaron, he's a monster. Where we're sprinting full kit, full speed with real plates and all this shit with guns down the fucking middle of downtown Ogden, down the street, just hauling ass. And I don't think they were expecting or like anticipating how quick Mendoza and I can move when we need to. And so like they yelled action, and we were like, you hear in one of the rough takes, you hear the driver go, "Oh shit!" And he fucking speeds up, but we are zipping, and they're tracking us, and we're just like running. And they're parallel with us, and like we're fucking yelling for people. Like these poor people on the street don't know what the fuck's going on. We're yelling at them to get the fuck out of the way. Like it is really fucking cool. But that, I have no idea what the timeline is on that. I would assume sometime next year it'll drop out, which will be really neat. And then we've got a Payday 2 fan film that is currently in the works. And I think Corey is going to be involved in another project that I can't talk about. That's his to discuss coming up here pretty soon. And then we've got like the odd, like we did a quick little like 5-minute short when we were at Broken Home. So there's gonna be a lot of that stuff because they're really trying to like kick off a production company. So we're gonna be making a lot of little shorts.
Speaking of blank fire, when you making it out to Milsim West?
Oh Jesus,
dude! I know I need to. I desperately need to. The problem is that I don't like it. It sounds weird, but usually if I'm going to a game, I'm going with like a crew, and I don't have that from Milsim West.
That does not sound weird.
Like I could meet up with you guys for sure. But
don't worry, we'll adopt you, son. We got you.
I would say for the most part, I need like. It was funny because I remember one time I was talking to Derek because I was gonna go, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll go and I'll just run with you guys," and he was like, "Hold up there, homeboy." I was like, "Oh, what do you?"
No, I know. Well, I understand. I understand specifically in that situation why. But
there's very specific clicks and shit that you've got to you've got to stick with when it comes to that. So I mean, I'll get there soon. It's I desperately need to. If at the very least, I'll go to the Oklahoma one if they do that again. For sure.
Oh, dude, that AO from everything I've heard is fucking badass.
Especially with the new sniper I've got. Like I want to fuck around with that thing. So
yeah. Owner of the AO is apparently really cool as well. Josh said nothing but good things to say about him. I do want to go out to South Scaseo really badly. Guardian Center. I'm just saying, man. Like if you want to just show up and we'll adopt you into our platoon, that's no problem.
I'll take it. That's probably what I'll end up doing. It'll probably just be like I'm just gonna show up there and like a bus. You're gonna be looking across the street and a bus is gonna drive off and I'm gonna be there with like a bunch of bags. Like, hey guys.
Hey guys, how you going?
I'm here to play with you guys for the.
No, that's why I'm excited about Barda. I was really worried when I accepted it because I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to throw together a platoon with like 3 weeks notice, and I walk in like, hey, how's it going? I'm in. They're like, hey, how's it going? You're second platoon's cadre. Here's the roster. You got 2 gun directs. You got this. You got this. You got this. I'm like, oh, this is badass. Oh, I don't have to do any work at all. I just have to show up. Yes. Oh, I was so hyped, dude. Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm excited right now, man. I just get on the plane. I show up. I don't even. Here's the thing. I'm not even flying with my gun. I'm having it dropped off to me.
Damn,
I've discovered recently how much.
Kaylee, we're getting together afterwards, right? We're going to fucking Sunday night, getting some food.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I might be in NorCal, so I don't have any control over
maybe Kaylee's
it.
gonna come down with a sudden case of pneumonia.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, hilarious. Hilarious. It's almost like I just finished my round of antibiotics.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, no doubt. Tight.
Can you hold that up a little closer?
Let's just call...
can't see any of the identifying information. Please.
Yeah, could you
Show me
actually
some
go
of that.
get your credit card and just show us
Yeah.
both sides of that real quick?
Yeah, hold on a
Bring
second.
your
Here's my.
social, too.
Here's me. Do you want my passport? Because I've got that as well.
He's like, joke's on you guys. You're gonna fucking try to use it, immediately get flagged. The FBI's gonna kick your fucking door down.
That's right, baby. I already have that shit locked in with
Listen,
the goddamn
then I
IRS.
would have some company in my apartment, and I wouldn't be alone.
Eric, Corey's. Let's not pretend like Corey isn't over there all the time.
I'm gonna kick my
Visitors.
door in, and they're just gonna have like whiskey glasses all around the table. I was be like, I've been expecting you.
Good evening. It's good to have visitors. I was expecting you.
Pull the
I'll be
towel
wearing a
over his arm and
smoking
everything.
jacket.
I've been expecting you.
Oh my god.
Epic.
Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, dude, I'm ready for another Omega event. Actually, you know, Cole, I feel like that's something you would enjoy, just from the LARP heavy aspect of it. I don't know
love
if.
the LARP shit. I have a good time.
Yeah, it's like a
Like,
post-apocalyptic.
I like LARP more than Airsoft.
People
absolutely.
greatly underestimate how fucking dorky I am. And it's
Well,
always fun.
people also underestimate how much fun the actual just straight up LARP side of shit is.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Like we're doing that Conquest of Avalon game again here in November, and I'm trying to figure out a way to like medievally ham it up. My thought process is I'm gonna
Wait, it's a medieval
like,
Airsoft game?
Yeah, it's at a Renaissance fair.
Pardon?
I love it.
Yeah, it's Airsoft, but it's at a Renaissance fair, and you're highly encouraged to like dud out your shit to be like medieval.
How?
So like,
How do
I'm
they...
going
Wait,
I'm
where
gonna
is
fig-
this?
at Waxahachie, Texas. It's Conquest of Avalon by Overwatch Tactics. I like
Sounds
Pump came
fucking
here,
badass,
like, his
dude.
Full like leather fucking ensemble.
Yeah, I remember this.
I'm trying to figure out a way to make like a full-on like, because I'm gonna use the sniper rifle because it's like the only thing I want to use right now. So I'm gonna make like a longbow archer's like Lord of the Rings ranger fucking cloak to like that I can
Hold,
whip that thing out. of.
hold, let fly.
Yeah, exactly. Hold. Like,
I like it.
Dude, that'd be
It's gonna be
badass.
awesome.
Fuck yeah.
yeah, like I said, that's the main reason I like sniping is I can just literally sit on my ass, smoke a cigar, and fucking take kids' teeth out, and like
Oh,
not
yeah.
have to ever move. Just they can see me, they just can't do shit about it. Just
Okay, but what cigar is the child sniping cigar?
Tabernacle.
what is the child smoking?
Tabernacles are my girls right now, man. I love because I don't drink anymore, so like I need my cigars to like really be like, and just like it knocked the shit out of me, or I need something angry.
And everything that.
So you're just
Foundation
smoking
does is
you're just smoking mulch over there.
Yeah, I'm yeah, basically
Dude.
it's got like Rasputin's ball hairs fucking rolled up in it or something, dude. Like I
my
don't know.
It's
No,
got
it's
some
just
extra.
the perfect Connecticut broadleaf.
It's good. It is a really good cigar. So my buddy,
It's got
Jeff,
boot heel in it.
or not Jeff, Jeremy. He owns a cigar shop down here, kind of near me. And every time I go in there, I like give him $100, and he puts like 15 cigars in a bag and just yeets them at me. And I trust his taste. And he's the one that got me super hooked on the Tabernacles. I really like those a lot.
Clearly, the man has excellent taste.
He's a monster.
GunGamers Whiskey and Cigar Podcast when?
We just need to get Jeff Smith on.
Dude, honestly, right?
Yeah, man.
It would be sick.
Eric, have you sent out Kaylee's whiskey yet?
Kaylee picked it up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Now it's just at my family's place in New York, and now I have to them to ship it. So, yeah.
Wait, you have to wait on the Diamond family to ship something. I wonder how long that's going to take.
Yeah, long time.
Hey, man, listen,
As
it's
you know.
someone
man.
who is waiting for the Diamond family to ship out a Stoner 63 for going on 6 weeks, just it took some time.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't ship Kaylee the whiskey for I don't fucking even know how long, so I can't throw stones from the interior of my glass house.
Don't trust the Hausenecht family to ship shit out either.
It was so sad too, because I was like, yeah, so like I can't take this. Well, first of all, we both, Eric and I were discussing like I'll just put it in my, golf bag, and that's like really protected, and I can like there's a zipper on the side of my bag, or I can get like access to the inside of the bag. Like it's kind of weird.
A weed pocket.
It's like
Officially, no.
it's like you could like you could like
It's legal in
strangely
California.
store things like in the bottom of the bag, like where
It's where I
the
put my
ends of the
Bitcoins.
clubs are. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll just put it in there. My parents were like, no, that's ridiculous. Like, what if it breaks? And I was like, "Ugh, okay, so whatever. So I asked my aunt who over there. I was like, yeah, so like I really just need this like shipped. Like, so if you could just like ship it like tomorrow or something, like that'd be great. And she was like, yeah, like I guess I can like figure that out. And I was like, figure it out? You put it in a box and you put it in the mail. Like, what is there to figure out? But so yeah, who knows? It sounded very much like it's just never getting over to me. So we'll see.
That bottle has been empty since the day after you left.
I told them, I was like, do not drink this. Like, this is not a gift. Like, do not forget that this is mine, and you guys better send this. So hopefully one of these days it'll come.
Yeah, and Jeff Smith, it's the Weller 12 year that I wound up giving to Kaylee.
Yeah, dude, I absolutely crushed that.
The cask strength.
Yeah, the cask strength. Like I shared it with some. I shared it with some fam.
Toasted barrel in my cabinet. I made
Is
a
that from
point
the?
Of.
Is that from the first one or from the second one?
No, that's from the second one.
Okay.
That was from the. That came with the Weller cask strength and the Weller 12 year.
I'll be honest, like the amount of money that was spent on that was a little ridiculous. Not the amount of money that was spent on that, but rather the amount of money that fetches in the aftermarket is fucking crazy.
I was gonna say whiskey's gotten like I've got a guy who he's a franchise owner for an insurance company who started like randomly sending me a lot of business, and so as a thank you, I was like, hey, I'm gonna get you a bottle of whiskey and send it over. And he called me after I sent it, and he was like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting like something in the $30 to $40 range, something cheap. I sent him a fucking bottle of Blanton's, and he about shit a brick.
The thing is, Blanton's, if you can get it for retail, is totally reasonable.
Yeah, but it is absolutely worth $250 if you have to spend it.
Well, and
I have a hard time spending over $150 on any bourbon.
You need to try. It's a distillery called Wood Hat. It's actually my wife's family owns it, and they make some ridiculous fucking bourbon. They make everything from red corn. They have one that's made out of red corn whiskey called the Bloody Butcher, and it won in the all whiskey category for like 2 years in a row.
I would absolutely try the shit out of that. My thing is, I drink so many different whiskeys. Like, I love Scotch, I love Japanese whiskey, I love Irish whiskey.
Love me some Japanese whiskey.
Hibiki is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. So then, like, when
big fan of
start
Nika,
trying to
love that
flip
shit.
$60 bourbons for $150, $200, I'm like, suck my ass. I can go buy all of these other crazy exotic whiskeys for less money.
Was it Hibiki or Yamazaki that they ran out of the 15 year and they don't have any right now? So that's why
I think it was Yamazaki.
Yamazaki. I fucked up and I had a bottle of that, but when I was drinking, bottles didn't last. They were on a very, very strict timetable in my household.
Well, Eric, the fucking the Nika from the cast that we got sent during the first batch, it ended up like I did some googling and like the actual overall cost of that shit like on the aftermarket has increased a substantial amount since I finished that bottle.
Which, I don't know. I don't believe in, and I probably sound like a bad whiskey collector. I don't believe in spending over retail on whiskey. Like, yeah. I just don't like hype beast, flipped market type stuff. Like, when there's so many good whiskeys I can get for retail price, why would I pay over retail?
Yeah. It's like vinyl.
Yeah, like I'm not paying $300 for a fucking copy of Agaloc's The Mantle when I can pay $80 for the fucking Grau reprint. It's like, oh, well, John Helm said that that's a pirated copy. Well, John Helm also said some really dumb shit on Facebook that got him out of the music scene. So I don't give a shit. Yeah. That's a totally separate rant.
Exactly. It's like, I'm a big fan of Rings of Saturn. I don't own anything vinyl related, or like even a fucking record player, but I did want to buy the fucking Old Tuola vinyl just because it looks really, really cool. And I went on to, I Googled how much it costs. Like, oh, $375. Like, fuck no. Absolutely not.
All right.
For something I can't listen to?
But Ho Shing Young brings up a good point. The ultimate liquor is the bacon-flavored bud.
Oh, God, dude. I saw the comment and like...
Oh, that's gross.
No, you haven't drank it. I don't want to hear it.
But I think
that
I watched
shit
the
is...
video where you guys drank it, right?
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
It
We
is.
drank that as the punishment for losing in the Great Airsoft.
That's right.
At which point we all just wound up drinking because we were all hammered.
I'm fairly certain that like 70% of what was recorded that night never saw the light of day.
Dude, we've tried to record like 3 or 4 more of those debates that have all never seen the light of day.
There's so much content. And here's the thing that most Gun Gamers viewers don't realize is that a good 60% of the content that's recorded for this channel never sees the light of day because we just get too drunk.
So sad.
It's not, considering the fact that content is dog shit garbage.
I wish ours was that way, but somehow it always made its way to the light of day.
I didn't watch the APL podcast live, but when I went back and rewatched it after having like met all of you guys, I'm like, oh honey.
Like 6 months later, when they finally demanded we put it up, I had people like I've had people hit me up on the Instagram. One guy in particular was like, "Yo, you really called them a slimy fuck to his face?" I was like, "Yeah, that's one of the best lines in that fucking whole thing."
Hey man, you saw it. You saw it before everyone else did, man. You saw it before everyone else did. That shit is they record like one episode and then never released anything else.
I don't even know. They never released anything. They keep pushing it back, and then they finally were talking about refunding people and never refunded anybody. I don't know. It's just a fucking hysterical ordeal to me. But I sure had fun dogging them out though. That was a good time. It's very rarely you get to just like bag on somebody just viciously and be totally justified for it.
No, that was wholeheartedly
justified. This is why
justified.
GunGamers doesn't have a Patreon or anything, because I would 100% wind up in that situation where I like promise some video, realize it's way more work than I want to do, and then just never do it. And people would have every right to be pissed at me if they paid for it. But you don't pay for this content, so I get to be lazy as fuck all I want.
This is why there is zero ASAP merch, because I don't mail anything out ever. If you ever like get something from me, or if you're like, hey, can you pick this up for me? Don't expect it for the next 6 to 7 months, because I will not fucking mail it.
Dude, do you know how many times people have bought fucking keg patches from me, and then they'll hit me up like 3 days later in the DMs? They're like, hey man, did you ever send that out? I'm like, fuck! Yeah, hold on, give me a sec. I gotta print out some...
Just ask Punk about his...
I gotta print out some labels and some stamps.
Punk's been waiting a year for that QRF Mod 2, and it's sitting in a box right there.
So close yet so far.
It's just he's like, bro, you could just print out a shipping label, you piece of shit. And I'm like, no. In the meantime, I've bought like 5 things from him, and he's shipped them all promptly.
Dude, just stamps.com, print out a shipping label. It's not that hard.
There's not a post office like anywhere. Well, now there is, I guess. So I don't really have an excuse. But where I was living before, there was a post office.
Just continue. You got it, buddy. I believe in you.
You shovel my ass. I got a jackhammer, dude. I'm like sitting on it, fucking Bugs Bunny style, and riding that motherfucker all the way down to the mantle.
Oh man. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that about 11 people watch these. Otherwise, Punk would probably be really upset.
No, he knows. He calls me out on it every time. He's like, "Hey, is he gonna ship that QRF off me, you piece of shit?"
No, next time you guys go live, I'm gonna mention it.
He's gonna mention it, I know. But I fully intend to have it out tomorrow. Actually, I pointed to it because it's in its box to ship.
I'm gonna message you tomorrow and be like, "Yo, did you ship that thing to Punk?"
It's funny. I tell people that because there's another kid, one of our guys that listens, Daniel Rodmiker. He asked to get one of the Day of the Dead Sugar Skull shirts that Corey made from Copperhead.
Yeah.
And I remembered to snag him one. And he hit me up the other day. He's like, "Hey, did you ever ship that?" And I was like, "Fuck."
Dude, I had a DBS shirt, one of the Dad Bod Society shirts that I was supposed to get as a staff member at Saratov, and that shit ended up getting stolen out of the back of somebody's truck. Was that or Shift took it, but I have no idea what happened. There's a whole bunch of shit that happened at Saratov that Ian was kind of butthurt about.
So Everready has an idea. He says just do paid roastings of people. Actually Everready, I had an idea that I think would be like the one GunGamers monetization scheme we could totally keep up with, and it was an OnlyFans where it's nothing but us shotgunning beers. And considering the frequency with which we shotgun beers, I feel we would actually have no issue keeping that one up.
Well, there's plenty of people on YouTube who have like OnlyFans, and it's not like it's just nothing sexual. It's just them posting content. It's like when InRange TV used to post all of their videos on Pornhub, which is just the best.
Listen, I feel like it's pretty sexual to shotgun a beer. You know, I feel sexy.
I promise you, you're
emptying
not.
its life essence into your throat. There's
Yeah.
nothing more intimate than that.
Yeah, I feel like that would be like the one GunGamers monetization thing we can keep up on.
Maybe.
All
I don't
right.
know. I've seen our upload schedule.
Should we? What upload schedule?
That's right. Exhibit A.
Speaking of that, I've got like
Non-existent.
4 fucking ASAP episodes that are sitting in my Adobe to edit and throw into the SoundCloud, and I just haven't done it because
Hey,
I'm
man,
a fucking lazy piece of shit.
Don't worry
I
about
do
that.
have
The first
footage
10
on
gun.
I do have footage on the night vision stuff that Amped sent us, so I do have all that shot. I will be editing that and putting that up at some point in the very, very near future. And then we still need to do the Maple Armories AK video. Basically, I'm literally shooting for like another 4 or 5 videos for the rest of the year, plus whatever podcasts we do. And I just
So this one?
of them. What?
So this one?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't find it that interesting to boot up my camera and talk about Airsoft all the time anymore. Like, I did that for almost 5 fucking years, every single week, multiple times a week for a lot of it. And to be honest, now I'm at that point where I'm like, all right.
You've already talked about everything there is to talk about.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah. No.
So.
Having been a part of that for a little bit, or not even a part of that, I was just kind of there occasionally for videos. That shit is fucking wild, man. I have no idea how you manage that.
I don't know. I just really hate myself, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Maple Armor's AK video, we do have to do that. There's going to be some differing opinions on that. I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't know. I know you were having issues with the mags feeding, and that might just be a mag issue. Because I mean, I've had no problems.
Well, it was a feeding thing and a hop thing. Those were my 2 main complaints. So, but we can talk about that when we do the video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we're sitting
should
at
we
about
take a couple of questions from
Yeah, I was
chat
about
and
to
then
say-
wrap this up?
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, we're about an hour 55 right now. If
Yeah,
anyone has any questions
I'm
in chat
hungry.
for Cole or anybody else here, feel free to ask. And then we're
Yeah,
gonna get the
so-
fuck out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. That McFlurry looked real good, so maybe I'll get a McFlurry, or maybe I'll just drink a whole bunch of whiskey and go to bed because I'm pretty fucking tired.
I got some fucking Carolina Reaper ghost pepper wings in my fridge, so I'm
Yo.
gonna get down on those, dude.
Dude.
Kaylee, honey, don't do that
Bro,
to yourself.
I already had some yesterday, and
And how'd that go?
I suffered this morning, and I'm ready for round 2.
Are you?
Yeah, dude.
You're gonna no. Kaylee, you're gonna message.
pain, man.
You're
Life
gonna
is
message
pain.
me later. You're like, oh, Ian, why did I do this to myself? I'm like, listen, we have the
Oh,
same
man.
conversation anytime you order from Taco Bell or from
It's gonna be
Domino's.
delicious. I don't care if there's like
Jeff
extended
Smith
amounts of
asks
diarrhea.
if we're doing the Emsato Friar Tuck Op. It's in Catskill. I don't really go to Emsato games. I went to the first battle at the depot. I had some real issues with the way that game was run. I don't know. I don't make Emsato games a priority.
Wasn't
Let me put it that way?
Wasn't the one in Catskill the one that got canceled like the day before it was supposed to happen?
Yes, but it got it ultimately did get an agreement where they're being allowed to run the game. But I don't know what the deal with that is. I don't know. I don't want to badmouth anybody or say anything that's going to get anybody into trouble. I don't think Tom should have been promoting that game personally, considering he had an outstanding cease and desist for multiple weeks leading up to the day of the event, and knew that there was an injunction to stop him from hosting the event. So, I don't know. I kind of am not convinced that one even is going to happen. So, I'm not really in a hurry to make that a priority.
No, man. If you have an event that's actively being protested by the people who own the property.
Well, no, the people who own the property are fine with it. It's the city who are like, yo, this building is condemned. Why are you having people occupy it?
Isn't that 50% of Airsoft events?
Yeah, it was a weird thing. And again, I probably don't even know everything that there is about the situation. I I don't know. Everything I've seen about it, now I'm convinced it's just cursed.
What was the venue for Red Storm East? I know you've talked about this before.
That was the Scranton Lace Factory.
Scranton
the
Lace
town
Factory.
was fine with that. That was the town was totally on board with that. Like, you know, I'll say everything I want about, you know, Lion Claws games and John Liu, but like that I will say the town was totally on.
No, I was gonna talk about it being condemned and Joe falling down a goddamn elevator shaft, but
True,
you know.
Joe did fall down a goddamn elevator. But that's a Joe problem.
That is a Joe problem. It's not a John Liu problem. John Liu's problems. Never mind. Keep it. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah. Try not to shit on John Lee too much.
No, let the Angels do
yeah,
that
yeah,
for
He'll
him.
be shitting on himself here soon enough. That boy's gonna be in Depends in another 5 years.
Hey man.
Goddamn.
Last Battle of the Depot ran into a property dispute in the middle of that doesn't surprise me.
I hate to say it, I don't think the Seneca Army Depot is a very good venue for events.
It's a fucking terrible venue for events. Because like it's just all it really is just a gigantic grid with buildings that you may or may not be able to enter. And all of the buildings are usually either just a mixture of gigantic condemned garbage or just wide open warehouses.
Well, they're just empty fucking warehouses. Now
Yeah.
if you're fighting in an interesting building, it's just an empty fucking warehouse.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, if you're outside, it's just a gigantic grid, and all of the fucking vehicles have no problem whatsoever exploiting the fact that there is road everywhere. And there's a daycare right next to it that we're fighting. Never. I'm still pissed about that.
Yeah. Ho Shing Jung asks future plans for the GunGamers channel, Airsoft or not. I'm gonna try to make like another 4 or 5 videos this year, hopefully, and then maybe we'll do maybe we'll do another podcast or 2. We'll find out.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing a couple more podcasts. The biggest thing really is finding topics like this where it's like, hey, you know, what's something interesting that we can actively talk about?
Which we talked about for like 30% of it, but you know that's fine.
Yeah,
it was a springboard.
We make it up as we go along.
Tangents were made, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then we've got Crytek P90, worth the price or not?
How much does it cost?
Like 450
400
bucks.
something, yeah.
No.
I mean, it's got a quick change spring, and
It depends. Do you want a P90? If so, buy the Crytek one. If you don't want a P90, then buy something else.
I am just not very interested in P90s. So as a result, I will probably never buy a Crytek P90. I don't care for P90s. I don't really want one.
I'm sure it will work fine.
I'm sure it will be a good gun because, you know, it's a fucking high-end AEG at this point. Like, I don't know. Most of those are at least fine. I'm sure it will shoot fine. I'm sure it will shoot well. But it's $450 for like a super niche AEG. If it's worth the price, you know.
You mean just like the Vector?
Yeah. And they don't fucking fit in any plate carrier. They don't fit in any of your shit. Like it's just.
So you said it's a niche AEG that costs over $400, just like the Vector.
Yeah.
Just like the MP7.
Yep.
I was gonna have a third example, but I couldn't think of one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's every high-end MP5. Actually, no. The MP5's cool.
No, MP5 is just a version 2 gearbox, so.
Yeah, that's true.
MP5s are nowhere near as fucking weird as like the Vector or the P90.
Yeah. They're fit into like any SMG like mag pouch, the mags, and it's a version 2 gearbox, so you can just like.
Yeah, it's a fucking MP5.
All the same mods, yeah.
Everyone likes MP5s.
Oh, MP5 best.
And then green team or tan team. The only answer to that question is whichever one I can wear Tiger Stripe or Desert Tiger Stripe on. I don't care. I've got them both.
COVID killed Airsoft topics pretty heavily. It'll pick back up when things return to a semblance of normal. I mean, we're kind of at like we're kind of back to normal in terms of run schedule, dude.
No. I feel like it's one of those things where like everyone who's like not as into Airsoft as they used to be says like Airsoft is dying, but like, you know, Airsoft's not dying. Just people grow up and get into different things.
No, dude, there's
want to do other things.
There's always someone to do. It takes their place.
Well, Josh has also hosted like 8 to 10 Milsim West. I'm not basing the entirety of Airsoft just on Milsim West, but like when individual companies are able to host 8 to 10 events in a year, like it is for the most part returned semi or at least somewhat to normal.
I mean, AMS Eastern Front had 500 fucking players in New York State.
Caspian Assault is about to have 750 fucking people at it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like Airsoft is relatively normal at this point. It's just like a lot of the people who've been doing it for a long time, I think, are at the point where we're at, where it's like, all right, how much more is there really to talk about in like new and interesting ways?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's nothing really super neat or new that's came out in the last couple of years that's kind of worth talking about, I guess. I don't know. When it comes to content creation like the podcast, for the most part, it was just kind of filling a hole that existed because of COVID. And it wouldn't have been created without COVID. At this point, it's just kind of a passion project. So for the most part, it's going to be catching up with people that we haven't talked to in a while.
To be honest.
Yeah, if any interesting topics come up, I'll make sure to cover them. But, I mean, I think we've covered pretty much everything right now in Airsoft.
We
Cover
covered
everything
it
I
all.
love. Yeah, like, how
Shut
many
it down,
fucking
guys.
videos are on the GunGamers channel? Like, what are we at? We have fucking... I'm trying to even find how many videos there are on the channel.
Several hundred.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, does it even tell me? It doesn't even tell me the number of videos, but it's hundreds, like multiple hundreds. Like, how many fucking videos can you make?
Yeah, I mean, once you get to a certain number of... Like, I can only talk for so long about it without either A, just getting really, really bored of it, or B, just not having anything else really useful to say. And, like, I mean, when it comes to... The only thing that's left to cover when everyone gets bored is just drama, and I'm never gonna host podcasts just to fucking cover drama.
Boring.
I've done one of those
we-
before, and I'm never
Yeah.
gonna do another one again.
Yeah, we dipped our toe into the drama thing, and finally, and right after that, I was just like, oh my god, this was not fucking worth it.
Yeah,
It immediately
exactly.
bites you. Yeah, it's rough.
It's not worth it. I mean, you did it right after Wong got arrested, right?
We did his. So we did a couple. We did the Bio BB thing, we did the Wong thing, and then we did the APL. And all of them were a shit show in their own right. I thoroughly enjoyed it because once again, I was getting to just dunk on people that I found distasteful. But
Yeah, if that's not your channel, then it's like there's no point. Like, I don't know. I don't think we're ever gonna do drama or cheater videos or anything of that nature, just because it's fucking distasteful.
Well, we made a cheater video. We made the ultimate cheater video.
It was the best. I physically assaulted you in that video.
Yes, that was the ultimate Airsoft cheater video. So, now you can watch that one and watch no other ones.
Exactly.
God.
All right. I mean, there's a couple more. What do you think the biggest technological limitation in Airsoft is right now?
BBs.
The spherical ammo.
Yeah. It's a musket.
Spherical ammo,
Will
yeah,
we be at the
hit
next
marking.
MSW Saratov event? Probably.
Almost certainly.
And,
I'll probably be working it. Corey will probably be working it.
And then, yeah, I think we're pretty much good. I think we've talked about everything we want to talk about in just over 2 hours.
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
maybe you guys need an airsoft road trip. I don't think so.
We do so many Airsoft road trips. I need less.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Less pneumonia. That's gonna be...
All right, listen. I'm getting a lot of negative vibes, and you're really harshing my mellow right now, Kaylee. Okay. God.
All right. I think
But yeah,
it's
guys.
a good time to wrap this up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
dude,
think we're gonna
am
call it
hungry
here.
And I want to destroy my stomach right now.
I've been up since 1 a.m. today, so yeah.
Oof.
GunGamers podcast episode something with our boy Cole from the ASAP podcast talking about regional
Thank you so much
differences
for
in
joining,
airsoft.
Cole. Where can people
Of
find
course, man. The_airsoft_bandit on Instagram. ASAP, another all seriousness aside, is on Facebook and SoundCloud and just about anything you can think of. Go to YouTube, type in Tactical Dork, go to his channel and watch the Siege fan film teaser that is out currently.
Hell yeah.
There you go, guys. GunGamers podcast episode something. Peace.
Peace.
Later.
Oh fuck, hold on. Oh, I should have been more prepared. And
No.
yeah, there we go.